young kids. This is between like the ages of 8 to 14 to also engage in the conversation. So niko na swali hapa na inauliza, why is it important for young kids to learn and understand HIV and AIDS? So ningependa if I can get the answer from either a parent and a child, or maybe a kid. Yeah, children's. Yeah, so why is it important for a child to know about HIV and AIDS? Na kwanza, is it even important, right? So to answer a question, I have a young child here who's going to help us answer or figure out the question. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, my name is Rehab Chepchumba. I'm from M-Pesa Foundation Academy. And for this, there's an importance for students or the teenagers or youths to know the HIV status or anything concerning HIV. This is because when you go back to school, you'll find that you are interacting with your classmates or even the teachers. And if other students find that you are HIV, let's say positive, they might start stigmatizing you. So for this, we must inform our students that anyone having HIV was not meant to be that way. Maybe they were born, maybe their parents had the HIV, and therefore it was transformed to them. And therefore we should know how to take care of them, give them good support, encourage them, make them feel like they are worth in the community or even in their schools, make them feel that, you know, they have the importance. And also for the students, we should know that, yeah, we are positive and negative, and also we should know that when it comes to our status, okay, we should keep like encouraging each other. We should not let each other down. Make sure that we keep on every day improving on ourselves. Even though we are positive, we should keep on encouraging ourselves. Know that even though we are born with that thing, it does not define us. It does not make us or limit us from accessing the opportunities. It makes us even it should give us the courage to move forward and say that although I'm positive, I know I can do it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Let's
for sharing
appreciate her.
that.
Come on, let's appreciate her. Thank you so much. And yeah, as you know, she's mentioned it's really important to love and show affection to people who are living with HIV, and it's also important to tell young children about HIV and AIDS. So as we're moving on smoothly, and swiftly, Juma Richie, hi. Tajiri. Hi, so Richie, maybe if you could be able to tell us what are the barriers young people in Kenya face in accessing reproductive health services in Kenya, based on what she's mentioned.
I think, thank you so much for the question. I think most of the barriers we've mentioned right here, and just to emphasize on the same, I also feel like money is usually an issue. One of the barriers in Kenya is usually money. Money. Because I feel most of the services we have tended to monetize them in our facilities, and we keep on asking ourselves, mbona mayouth hawakujangi kwa facility, but bei ya kukuja huko si shilingi 2 saa hizo, na saa hizo the facility imekuwa kwa grau, mnasema ni ya grau, ni ya watu wa grau, lakini I'm expecting kama ni yetu it's supposed to be subsidized or free. Then unapata it's not free, it's not subsidized. Even the services themselves, it's cheaper for me niki order dawa online kushinda niende kwa facility. Another reason being privacy. I need so many permissions to access a certain service. Like, for example, family planning. As a young person, especially a lady, I'm not speaking for ladies, but I know from hearing experiences, they can't access family planning if you look young, for one, and if you don't have a partner. You need a permission to also get the service. Unaona? Also, for the gents, mpaka CD zikaletwa hapa nje juu ilikuwa an issue, chalia kiendea CD kwa facility juu huko ndo zilikuwa zinawekwa mostly. na kwenye zilikuwa zinawekwa ni ule, unaona ule mama wa chama mwenye anakujanga kwenyu huyo ndo anazicontrol pia. So like hata zikiisha you have to go ask again. Unapata the person that you're going to ask for, unajua hii information inafika home na nyumbani wanajua you don't have sex.
Sure.
Like there's no confidentiality. I beg to end at that.
Asante sana Richie. So my next question will be to you, Dennis. Kwa kifupi, Dennis. So how can the boy child in grassroots seek health services in a society where a man should not show pain or weakness? Juu tuko hapa tunaongelelea story ya vijana, but on the other side, how is it like for you as men?
Wow, okay, thank you for that question. I'm coming from Masai land. I'm coming from Narok, where a man is everything. Unaweza ingia kwa matatu hivi, ukute imejaa ladies, unaona is the only car, unaona you're not supposed to get in there. Men kwetu huwa wakuji hospitali most of the time. This is a big challenge in Masai land. So NSDCC last 2 years back walitu support na campaign ya male engagement enye tulikuwa tunaenda pa community, try to sensitize, to talk to men specific, try to tell them importance ya hao wenyewe kujua hali yao. Actually kwetu ndio kuna mitishamba. Kwetu ndio kuna mitishamba. So this year nimekama up na an idea ya ku renovate youth centers, kuimake ikue na youth friendly services, ina offer services mbalimbali zenye maybe you feel comfortable kukuja hospitali, you can just visit youth center and get services from there. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Ruel? All right. My next.
Niko nyuma sana.
Nice.
Yeah, and thank you so much for the conversation, Dennis. And I know we're working towards ensuring everyone gets to support their health. So moving on swiftly to Belinda. Hi, Belinda. You good? Fantastic. So I know you work so much with young people, and
Yes.
I would need you to tell us about, how do young people balance work and their health? This entails showing up sober to work, saving, self-care. So how can young people be able to incorporate their social life as well as their health life and work?
Thank you so much, Ruel. Before I get on to that, I just want to agree on the issue of access to healthcare. AHF, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, is the largest non-profit organization that provides care, support, and treatment for HIV and AIDS. In Kenya, we have various sites. We have government-supported sites, and we also have our own AHF clinics. So I want to assure the young people that if you need access to health, come to any AHF-branded facility. You will access the health and whatever service you need at no cost.
Bel, kidogo.
Yes.
Kidogo too. So we are requesting the green seats, right? We are requesting if you're in the green seats, kama uneza step back to the red seats, kindly. Kindly. Yes, so you wake up with your belongings, usisahau kitu hapo. As we are wrapping up the panel. Tunaomba kama uko kwa green seats, urudi kwa viti za red. Belinda?
Yes, so to the question that Ruel asked about young people balancing mental health and work-related issues, so my answer is very simple. If your job means a lot to you, then you will give it the importance that it deserves. That's number one. Number two, we all know that there will be a rainy day one day. So save. Don't spend everything that you're earning. Number three, live within your means. There's a lifestyle that is being propagated on social media, Instagram, whatever, TikTok. Understand that those people are living the life they can afford. You live their life that you can afford. Keep a penny for a rainy day. Treat your job with respect, because that's where you earn your living. And then when it comes to mental health, there's a panelist who talked about self-awareness. It's very important. Know when you're burning out. When you feel like you're burning out, have healthy ways of seeking help. I know some of us get stressed and you're like, hey, I need to go party. What alcohol does, it exacerbates the stress and all that. So have healthy coping skills, physical exercises, hangouts like these ones, talk to someone, seek help. There are professionals out there that can offer that help.
Thank you so much for even reminding us to save for a rainy day, because najua wakati mwingine tunapata do and you just want to spend it all. So my next question will be to Zipporah. So Zipporah, do young women know that what HPV is? In this case, HPV vaccine. How is it? Do you feel that young people know about it? Ni stories za jaba ama ni kitu real?
For me, I will say yes. For instance, it's because like nowadays there's that vaccine that is being given to, I think those girls that who haven't exposed themselves to sex, the ones that are still young. And my request was that even for us, people who are already sexually active, they should have a way where we should even prevent ourselves, because we might be having information, and I think for some of us, tunaiona kama story ya jaba kwa sababu ni kitu auambiwi daily, unaona, like uko tu unasikianga tu nilienda shule, maybe that time mwanafunzi mwingine alikuwa absent, ameenda amedungwa shindano, kuna mwenye hata hakujangi shule 1 week because of maybe financial stabilities, maybe like school fees, mwalimu alimwambia arudi home. But for me, I think if this thing ikiekwa lively, like at a home, wazazi wetu wenyewe waongeleshwe, because sometimes we get information. Mzazi anaweza kuambia hizo ni shindano za wazungu, nisipate umedungwa. Unajua me won't go because mama yangu amekataa. But once nimeiona kwa kila mahali inaongelelewa, hata mimi nitaambia mama yangu hapana. Niliona hivi na hivi ndio ina happen. So I think the information must be there, and we must be instilling in the information, because I think even kuna wenye wanapata na hiyo HPV but hata wajui kama wako nayo. Hiyo cervical cancer iko na metastasis, jio kitu ni kubwa kikuingia na kurarua. Mimi nikisikia hivyo nitaogopa, sitaenda. But once unaambiwa kuna adili ya kuswipe, wanda tu wanapima, itakuwa rahisi, and I think the rate of increasement ita reduce.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Zippy. Ruel?
Thank you so much. And you know, Zipporah, as she was introducing herself, she said she's a young mom. And I would really want her to also emphasize or maybe speak about how young mothers can also be on the front of fighting for, you know, HIV information towards young children. Maybe that's something that she can tackle on. Thanks.
All right. My next question goes to Martin. Martin, kwa kifupi. So Martin, you're working with the AHF, so how best can we support, or how best can you support young people to ensure that they feel included in HIV programming or response in this case? Kwa kifupi, 1 minute.
Okay. First of all, I'll say, let me first talk about the boy child. For the boy child, they should recognize they are born biologically to provide. So for that reason, I want them to take the self-care of using condom so that they can still maintain their power in protecting others while protecting themselves, as well as reducing unplanned pregnancy. On the issue of how AHF can include young people, is to have the same thing that is happening on this, but inclusion in churches and in schools.
Sure.
Okay. And in young people events, like the other time we were having kind of festival, the same thing, because that's where you're gonna meet young people, and it's a very good platform to get the ideas, make them be inclusive in those planning, and also engage them into health education.
Thank you so much, Martin. And lastly, my question goes to Jerob. So Jerob, how can we as young women continue to support men in HIV response?
One sentence, just provide an enabling environment for them.
All right. thank you everyone for taking your time and for even sharing your sentiments. I hope kwa crowd you've picked a thing or two from the panel. So kuna wengine hapa wako very good in HIV programming, which again, if you find time na upatane naye hapo nje, you can extend the conversation to them. So I'll have to, because of time. So I don't know, mungependa tutoke kwa stage na wimbo gani? Tuanguke nayo. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much to the crowd. So I'll give this back to MC Jesse. Jesse, utaanguka nayo pia wewe. All right, we were.
Shaskia kikingia ni kuplas huko ngabadu na chukua madam, so anguka nao itabaki meflow na vibe. Anguka nao koko single for now. Mdagi mteja patikani hadi late night saa 6 ndo tani wai nikupin location na nikofana na hii sukate call niko chomba ya G. Mimi najua utakuwa irizo release. Acha nikushow kwanza form ya Didon. Nishashika mpua na twende chini kwa chini akiwa hadi na mimi. Sasa tunasikiza Shin City tuna feel free. Teka video na post pale NGC. Jina ni Kantel Kurapsi ni talent G. Anguka na ati anguka na check it. Anguka na twende down low now. Stand up to your feet mikono juu alafu click. Tuliza pesa alafu one leg. Anguka na one leg. Anguka na anguka na anguka na anguka na ati anguka nayo kama uko na new cut. Anguka nayo kuna pati na magwati. Tunakula life na dabu. Life na dabu. Tunakula life na dabu.
Hey. All right, DJ Wiwa. Hello? Are you still there? Kila mtu ananisikia? Nani anisikii? Nani anisikii? Okay, umekaa karibu na mtu asikii like ya ukweli, unamwambia na sign language. Kunaye? Kuna mwenye anafanya sign language? Hebu nione kwa mkono kama umekaa karibu na yeye huku. Haya, mwambie akuje pande hii, okay? Akuje hapa kwa hao wamesimama hapa, akuje hapa juu tuko na mtu atafanya sign language hapa mbele kwa hawa. Na pia any other person abled differently, ako kwa wheelchair or something, please tuko na session yenu pande hii. So walete hapa. All right. Nataka tuendelee sasa very fast. All right. Wacha niwaambie. Leo nimekaa na msanii. Tu dance kidogo? Siwasikii. Tu dance kidogo? Kugusa tu kadogo. Tu dance gani? Gani? Mapangale. Munataka mapangale? Hebu simameni kama mnataka mapangale. Simameni basi. Simameni nione kama mnataka mapangale. DJ Wiwa, you got mapangale? Ma-ax. Munataka kufanya mapangale? Ay. Nyinyi. Simameni basi mapangale. Simameni. DJ Wiwa, twende kazi nione. Twende kazi kabla niite mgeni wetu mheshimiwa anakaribia. Our CS is here. Hebu simama tufanye mapangale nione. Cheza mapangale nione. Cheza mapangale. Press play. Hebu niwaone kama mnacheza mapangale.
Demi yangu anaitwa Wanga mani Wangare. Nakona haga sema mahagare. Uko serious na sitko trending. Utajua kwa nini kumbe ni ufalari. Twende mapangale. Kila mtu ko pare twende. 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 Vile umezibeba ndani big
Wapi watu wa Mapangale? Munani enjoy? Munani enjoy? Sio hiyo? DJ shikilia. Aya, ni gani? Okay, sawa. Now, before tuende mbali, before our CS comes in, all right. Sasa nimekuja na msanii mmoja mbigi sana, okay? Now, tunasema tu dance Mapangale na hizo zingine zote. Of course, after hii hapa, tuko na concert ingine noma sana. So all our young people pale hivi tutaenda tufanye Color Fest. Nyinyi mshai attend Color Fest? Tupigwe marangi hapo tuende home tukikaka crown paints. Hapo ndio tutaenda. Ama kwenu hakuna maji? Hamtaweza kuoga? Alright, so nimekaa na msanii mmoja deadly sana, award winning artist, na nataka awasalimie na pia tusikie yeye ni msee wa kutoka wapi, kama anajua hizi story tunaongeanga, lakini pia atugusie kasong kake, si ndio? Atatugusia Mnajua ni msanii mgani niko na yeye? Ni nani? Si wasikii ni nani? Hata yeye mwenyewe amekaa hapa na wasikii. Ni nani mnadhani nimekaa na yeye? Wapi nduru ya King Kaka? Ndio huyo mzito mwenyewe King Kaka. Uimba ama ni kung'ara? Salimia wazito King Kaka.
Ni aje? Bado ni aje? Ama ni breakfast hatujapiga? Ukweli? Breakfast ni baadaye. Si ndio? Jesse.
Yeah, I'm here King Kaka.
Uko hapa? Ni aje Jesse? Unataka tufanyaje sasa?
Sasa King Kaka,
Nipange Mapangale.
Nikupange King Kaka anaweza Mapangale?
Hapa.
Unaweza Mapangale?
Mimi ni mbaya Jesse.
Wewe ni mbaya.
Usinijaribu.
Unaweza Mapangale?
Usinijaribu buda.
Anaweza Mapangale?
Usinijaribu.
Na ujue mimi ni Meru.
Basi imeisha.
All right. So King Kaka, so
yes,
just to ask you a question or two. Kabisa weva, okavaa kele tu. So kuna huyu mrembo aliniambia lazima King Kaka akuje. Nina maswali mawili matatu nataka kumuuliza juu hawa watu pia wanataka kusikia story yako. Besides hiyo nitakuwa nishapanga muziki zako utuchapie ngoma. Alafu besides that pia wanataka kusikia story yako. Mwetu.
Uko fiti?
Niko fiti.
Uko poa kabisa.
Kabisa.
Imagine hata sina maswali technical.
Uliza tu, usiogope. Tuko hapa kuongea, si ndio? Tujue me 1 2.
Sure. Swali langu la kwanza, wewe kama msanii una feel usanii na contribute aje kwa stories za ku end stigma za HIV?
So one thing I know about music, ni kwamba music is very strong. Unaelewa? The fact that we can even have a way to speak to people, it's very strong. Sababu, when you're going through sadness, there are songs you listen to. So ushasikia song ukalia, it reminded you of certain situations, sindio? Ushasikia songs zingine ukachangamka, sindio? And that is the same way pia we use music as a way and a tool to just communicate. Na kuambia watu what's really going on, yeah.
Kwa space yako ya usanii,
yes,
in what instances have you maybe met with young people na ukatake hiyo initiative maybe as a male champion kuongea stories za HIV kwa space yako?
Mimi nimekuwa very vocal about HIV and AIDS for very many years. I even did a campaign actually before they rebranded. And I did a campaign with UNICEF as well. Kuna song inaitwa Kula Life na Adabu, right? Sema Kula Life na Adabu. Unajua kuna kukula life alafu kuna kukula life na adabu, right? It means as much as tunajibamba, there's a level of respect and self-respect that you need to have. Umeelewa? So that's basically the energy yenye mimi naambia watu. Kuna raha ziko hapa nje, but let's be responsible. Si ndio? Self-respect is very important. Now today, There's tomorrow, there's the day after tomorrow, but only if we take care of ourselves, sindio? And that goes all round. Like she said about money, ile panel ilikuwa hapa, your health is very important, sindio? Na kujipanga tu, that's it.
Najua tuko hapa tunabonga stories za kumaliza HIV by 2030.
Yes.
So what do you feel we need to do more? Especially kama wewe kijana, what more? Ama ni role gani una feel wewe kama kijana first of all before atakuwa msanii una play?
I think kunafaa kuwa na more of these safe spaces for us to just talk. Unaelewa? We should not wait until December 1st. Let's not wait until December 1st. Let's create such forums. Sababu, as much as we are here now, when are we going to have another forum like this one? That is my big question. Unaelewa? And that means, how do we go back to unis and high schools, na mtaani, and just talk? Kwa sababu now if we wait another year, what is happening between that and then? And also, how do we put these things into our lifestyles in terms of communication? How do we talk now to everyone about this without waiting on certain dates? How do we make sure that it's integrated in our day-to-day lifestyle? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Nashukuru.
Jesse, nitakuwa MC, nitapita kazi yako.
So mimi swali langu kwa King Kaka ni moja. Tumuulize yale maswali ya Mr. Nyaga. Je, tumuulize. Maswali ilikuwa rahisi King Kaka. Je, King Kaka, ushawahi tuma fare?
Nilituma fare alafu nanaka ikula.
Na tulisema ukitumiwa fare unafanya nini? Bas, kwa hivyo umepata hiyo alifanya.
Ikabidi nimuendee. Ujanja siku hizi utumi fare, unamuendea. Akisema tuma fare, uko wapi? Wacha nikuje.
Na akikuja unafanya nini? Tulisema unazima simu, sawa? Akikuja unafanya nini? Unazima simu. So King Kaka, hilo ni swali moja. Aya, fare yako ishawahi kuliwa na mtu?
Ishaikuliwa. Kabla nijulikane. Hiyo kila mtu amekuliwa fare. Hiyo inaendaga hivyo, it's standard. Hiyo lazima iende hiyo. Wewe hujai kula fare mtu? Hujai? Basi wewe ndo mmoja wetu wanyobaki Nairobi.
Na tulisema ukitumiwa fare unafanya nini? Unakula. So King Kaka, another thing. Kuna time ulikuwaga mazee kamekuweza. Mimi nilikuwa najua ushaenda. Ulikuwa mgonjwa, ulikuwa ushaenda. Kajua huyu msee amenyuria. How was that experience? Na nini ilikuwa inapita through kichwa yako saa hiyo?
So guys, a few years back, kama kwa wale wajui what Jesse is saying, like 2-3 years back, I almost died bana. Nilikuwa na weigh around 89-90 kgs, and in 6 months I lost 33 kgs. Nilikuwa nimekonda mpaka nikikaa chini nasikia uchungu yani. And I was so sick. Nilikuwa na puke damu yani in the morning every day. And it was such a bad experience. And I remember Jesse. I was so sick mpaka nilikuwa nimejua I'm dying. So what I did, nikadanganya na home. I told, kwa sababu sikuwa nataka watoto wangu wapitie through the stigma of watching me nitolewe kwa nyumba na body bag. It was that bad. So what I did ni nikawadanganya, nikawaambia nataka mnipeleke hospitali, at least niende nikapate matibabu. But in my head, mimi nilisema nipelekeni hospitali mimi nikufe. I had already accepted that I'm dying. And when I went to the hospital, nikasema safari yangu imeisha sasa. But one thing I'll tell you, when you're sick and you've given up, hakuna battle kubwa kama hiyo. And one thing I know, there should be counseling in hospitals. Because your experience, it will drain you, it will eat your mind up. Kwa sababu, I was being tested and all my tests ilikuwa negative. Ushaikuwa mgonjwa mpaka unaombea ugonjwa. I was in that situation. I was so sick, and test zote zinakuja negative, and every time they tested me for a disease, nikiambiwa sasa tunapima TB, nasema yes, finally wapate kitu, hata wakipata TB ndafurahi. Wakikuja waniambia it's negative, nilikuwa nakasirika. Nasema hatujaipata. Wanakuja wananipima HIV, nasema at least nipate ndio nijue namna I start whatever, kama ni treatment ama nianze kumeza dawa. Nakuja wanapata negative, nakasirika. Wanaenda wakapima cancer. They extracted, unaona kwa hii inaitwa pelvic bone hapa. They drilled here. Wakatoa marrow. Wakaenda kuipima for cancer and it was negative. Na wakikuja kuniambia it's negative, nilikasirika. Because I just wanted a disease now, because I was frustrated. I was sick for almost a year. I was so sick I could not walk. Nilikuwa na crawl to the washroom. I used to crawl. Sikuwa naweza kutembea. And one thing I would tell you is, let's always be hopeful and prayerful. Hata mimi nilikuwa nashindwa kuomba. When I was sick in the hospital, Jesse, mimi nilikuwa nashindwa. Unaanza, dear God, unajua mambo, alafu unaachia hapo, unasema God ameniachilia. Umeelewa? Because when you're sick, you're frustrated sometimes, and it's too much. Sindio? You feel like it's too much. So one thing I did is, I was surrounded by my friends, my family, and that gave me strength, but also your inner strength is everything. That is what I realized, kwamba our inner strength ni everything. So whatever we are going through, mimi ni mzee wa mtaani. As much as siku hizi manze niko maisha tofauti, mimi ni mzee wa Islando. Wase wa Islando wako wapi? Mimi ni mzee wa Islando, born and raised hapa Kaloleni, Maringo, Jericho. And most of my friends wame go through what mimi nimeevade. I'm talking drugs, alcohol, crime. Mimi nimezika friends wangu wengi sana, very close friends. But you know now the ghetto is now a hard place. But pia what I did ni mimi nilitumia ghetto as an inspiration to move to the next step. Sababu mimi nilikuwa naingia nyumbani kwetu na nilikuwa nakasirika. Ushaingia kwenyu ukajam?
Juu ya shida.
Juu ya shida. Unajua kwetu ilikuwa room moja, ukiingia umefika. Haina kuingine. Unasikia jinsi? Ukiingia umefika, haina room ingine. Kila kitu iko hapo, mnapika hapo, mnalala, everything.
Maskini walikuwa wanaita nyinyi maskini.
Unanipata? But I wanted another life, a different life, and so I worked hard in school, and let's not let our background define us. Let's use our backgrounds or our hardships or whatever we're going through to inspire to find great things. So I used poverty as an inspiration. Sababu nilikuwa najiuliza kama kuna watu wanaendesha ma SUV na kuna watu wana millions na nini. Na ni watu wako na miguu mbili tu na akili moja kama mimi. Okay, niko na akili mingi lakini
wako na akili kama wewe.
Unanipata?
Unashindwa mbona mimi nisikue kama wao.
So I worked hard and I worked differently so that I didn't let the ghetto in it define. Unaelewa? And so now me nikienda places and just talking to people, I tell them, I am a testimony, it's possible. And you too can change your course.
Wapi makofi ya King Kaka. Na siku hizi unakuanga umeokoka ama uliokoka tu hiyo time ulikuwaga mgonjwa juu ulikuwa unanyuria? Uliokoka ama uliokota?
Unajua hiyo time manze mimi nilihave one on one na God manze. Nilikuwa kwa room yangu manze usiku and there's a night nayo niliona giza na mwangaza. Nikasema ndio hii inafanyika. So one thing I promised God ni kwamba nikamwambia God nikitoka hapo, unajua sasa nilikuwa na bargain. Ushaambia sasa bargain for your life. It was 3 a.m. Nimeamka nikaona ndio hii naenda. I told God bado uko na plans mingi umenipea. Hatujazi action. Mimi na wewe hatujazi action. Mbona unataka tuende tu hivi? It's too soon. Nirudishe nikufanyia hata album moja
ya gospel.
Nirudishe. So vile nikaanza kupona nini and I can't explain yani.
Vile ulianza kupona.
Umenipata vile nilianza kupona I can't explain sababu immediately tu after hiyo wiki manze nikaanza tu kupona. Mimi sikuwa nakula Jesse. Unaona if you guys mnasikia njaa that's a privilege. Me I was in hospital sikuwa nasikia njaa. Because I couldn't eat. Nilikuwa nikikula I puke. Nilikuwa nasikia harufu ya chakula I puke. It was that bad. Unaelewa?
So did you do the album yenye ulikubaliana na Mungu?
I did the
hiyo
album.
Usiku saa 9 na dakika 25.
I did the album and it was Second Life. Iko on all platforms man. I did a song with Good Luck Goes Bad.
Utatuguzia moja leo?
Hebu tafuta hapo song manze ya Good Luck.
Mnapenda ngoma gani ya King Kaka? Gani? Mnapenda zote? Aya, hatutaimba zote saa hii, okay?
Jesse ngoja kwanza. Jesse uliniambia wewe ni fan wangu.
Mimi ni fan wako mbaya. Kutoka kitambo.
Imba ngoma yangu moja.
Mimi najua ya Kaka Sungura na uliacha kukua Kaka Sungura.
Imba yangu moja. Unajua saa zingine mna nakuchochanga mimi ni fan wako jo. Aya,
Mimi naweza.
Play hiyo.
Play song uone. Play song yake. Cheza Good Luck. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Ongeza sauti, sisikii mic. Are you ready for this song?
Mbona unashika hapo hivi Jesse? Mbona unashika hivi?
Si ni wewe unafanyaga hivyo?
Nitashika
wewe ni mimi nisiana shikanga.
Jesse mimi
King Kaka na shikanga ashikangi.
Mimi sishika. Unaniekelea Jesse.
Unashikanga hapa na unasema mazee Yesu ni Bwana. Ananiinua wapi? Ameniponya wapi? Ama shida ilikuwa huku na asemi? Maybe shida ilikuwa huku. Mungu wangu ameniponya. Naona mkono wake. Ala. King Kaka. Tupigie moja King Kaka sahi. Tupatie ngoma moja. And then what you're going to do, King Kaka hata imba ngoma zake sahi. After this, kwa sababu CS anakuja, atuambie stories za Sha. Alafu. Ama ni Chief. Chef Sha. Shahu ha. Sahi inaitwa Taifa Health by the way. So, sasa after that, tutakuwa na Color Fest pale. King Kaka lazima atatupigia pale, si ndio? And of course mnajua wa Douglas. Anguka nayo wa Douglas watakuwa na watatufanyia pia pale kwa Color Fest. So saa hii King Kaka tupatie a good number, the one that you love, that you know these people love. Wamesema wanataka gani? Aya, tuanzie. Mzuri. Hata hiyo Good Luck ni poa. Ndio napenda. Aya, twende kazi.
Hey. Hey, kila mtu amke manze. Mbona kwa nisi tumetoka marathon? Twende. Kwenye tutanguka hapo. Wacha nisalimiane huko nyuma. Naogopa. Unasemaje? Profiti. Mambo. Hey, naogopa. Hey. Hey, umenibariki. Yeah. Love yako bado ni strong na siamini zile na sio dini. Same time masi alitoa ngoma ya shule, nikamua kweli unanipendanga bure. Love na sio decoy, baba basi deploy. Nilikuwa outcast kama Andre na Big Boy. My time na my weekend, at times it felt ni kama wewe unipendi. So why me? She doesn't eye me. nakupelea wewe hapo sasa. Twende. I can see wewe ningekuwa namba D. Umenipa nafasi, naogopa. Kwenye 1, 2, 3 ningekuwa namba 6. Ila yale piga picha, usiogope. Hey, many unifan sasa. Nitafute nyuma ya tent. Wakiniona wanakuona direct, love language kwako ni perfect dialect. In a good mood so napiga look. Uko present daily hawezi pick a book. Hey, chapter upon chapter boss napiga book. Ready for whatever so napiga book. Samaki amejitolea basi piga hook. Namba yako direct so napiga book. Ayo ingine tutane pale Kala Festival, si ndio? Ndo tudunde kudunda. Cheers. Don't go, I'm kujai. Nobelia. Ati Sato Magida, nimeingia club. Na kuna dem. Wewe twende Nobelia. No, just my number, don't go, I'm kujai. Letazama namba amvutai. Kama ni nyama amuwekai. Unafanya nina baki amzubai. Hey, twende. Don't go letazama namba kama ni nyama unafanya nina baki twende. I said tonight we are doing. I said my girl we are dunda. I said tonight we are today. Wacha niende huku nyuma pia. I said tonight we are dunda. I said my girl we are dunda. I said tonight we are dunda. Oh yeah. Na vile umedunga. Hey, we are dunda. Hakuna njia. Tonight we are dunda. Wacha nipite. Sato Magida, nimeingia club. Na kuna dem anaka. Kwani mama? Nikamsho naitwa. Na kuna vile umenibamba. Wait a little. Now let a bill happen. I can't take anything I don't jua you. You can take my friend who nyima do. Hizo ni rumors ma, shia gazeti. Wekoni kunywa inka peti. Tonight I'm doing my new car debate. Isla, lesma, design me. I said tonight we are dunda. I said my girl we are dunda. Pulo. Watu wangapi hapo wako in love? Wako kwa relationship nini? Unajua ule anapenda mwingine. Na huyo mwingine ana twende Nobelia. Saa zingine naikupenda. Hey. Kila mtu anataka. Saa zingine hata wale wenye hadhi na sisi twende. Oh, bana. Alivyonipenda yule. Sikujali nikamwaga alivyonipenda yule. Alivyonipenda yule. Sikujali alikuwa wangu wakati nilikuwa nameless. Nikimwona na sinzia ka nameless. Uko takuja kalesa. Love ilikuwa genuine. Na huyu we started kitambo. Wakati sukuma barazani, jambo wakati stima kwangu, kando wakati bande yake kuwa na keki, wakati nikisota alinipiga jeki, nikachanganyikiwa na rangi ya tao yangu ikafunguka, ndio makao leo matakisho kosi tunakacha tulizi document Snapchat niko empty na miss kishenzi alinipa ya kweli mapenzi lonely na miss alivo
Munataka gani ingine ya kinkaka? Gani ingine? Ati gani? Wajinga nyinyi. Nyinyi ama mimi? Nani munaita wajinga? Nani? Mimi?
We, hiyo sio ya hapa, hiyo sio ya hapa wase.
Hapana. Kaende.
Wanapanga kutumaliza baba.
Wanapanga kutumaliza.
Twende.
Wanapanga kutumaliza.
Siwasikii. Wanapanga. Siwasikii. Wanapanga kutu.
Shikilia DJ, shikilia. Sasa King Kaka, hiyo tutaimba
kesho siku ingine.
Lakini tuimbe hiyo. Munataka kuanzisha maandamano hapa nini?
Wewe wacheni.
Nitawaabduct.
This is not the right place. There's the right places for everything, okay?
All right. So what we are going to do, unajua kwa nini nimekataa uimbe hiyo? Juu tunaenda Color Fest.
Ndakuwa nimemaliza zote.
Hapo Color Fest tunaanza na hiyo. Sawa sawa?
Nimekusoma Jesse,
mapema.
Kwa
unataka kuwapatia zote tamu.
Tuache Jesse. Nimewacha hata nimekaa.
Aha. Unajua wanataka tuongee siasa. Wanataka kuongea siasa hapa. Alafu tuandamane. Alafu by the way, wapi wale polisi walikuwa wanatupiga siku ya maandamano? DCC, ako wapi hao polisi? Wako wapi? No, hawa ni machief, hawa ni admin, hawa hawakuwa. Simulitishia machifu wakabaki nyumbani. Na DCC na ACC wakabaki nyumbani. Hawakuwa. Wewe uliwaona na bunduki? Uliona chifu wenu Tao? Na tia gas. Chifu Wangara, ako wapi chifu Wangara? Nasikia alikuwa na tia gas. Na wa hapa hivi Nyayo, si ndio? Kuna chifu wa hii area. Wapi chifu wa hapa? Hebu tumuone chifu wa hapa. Wapi chifu wa hii location? Ako wapi? Simama watu wakuone. Huyu chief siku ya maandamano alicontrol by the way. Huyu alimake sure wase hawajaguzwa. Haya. Tani watu waone sura. Ndio wajue wewe ni Mjaluo na ungepiga watu. Kwa sababu hata wewe umesoea maandamano. Haya wacha ni na DCC yako wapi? DCC ndiye mdosi wa hawa wote. DCC yako wapi? Huko. Umebadilisha? Ala? Sawa, ako hapa. Haya, wapi OCPD? Yeye alituma watu. Usisimame OCPD, usisimame. Alafu niongee vibaya hivyo, alafu hata mimi nipotee, niabductiwe. Saa hii uone Jesse, Subaru. Kidogo free Jesse online. Na mtanisaidia ni online tu. Nipotee, niende, nitembezwe, niingizwe Nyayo House. Na huko chini. Mnajua huko Nyayo House kuna mahali huko watu walikuwa wanafichwa zamani. Zamani za kale, sio saa hii, zamani. Kuna watu walikuwa wamewekwa huko. Zamani watu walikuwa wanawekwa huko ndani. Saa hii nishikwe, nizungushwe na Subaru, nikidhani niko Naivasha, kumbe bado niko town. Niingizwe ndani ya Nyayo Azuko ndani kwa kanyumba kako na giza. Hakuna mtu anaona, naguzaguza hivi unadhani uko peke yako. Jesse ako peke yake, unaenda kukaa kwa kona, unasikia kijana wacha kunikalia. Nisha, ala baba uko hapa? Kesho tuko na wewe. Tunafinywa. We. Baba alifinywa wakati wa Moi. Oh sorry guy, nimesema Moi. Watadu. Tutamsalimia. Hakuna kitu atafanya. We. Wakati wa Moi ilikuwa mbaya. Baba alifinywa. Unajua baba zamani alikuwa anatembea poa sana. Raila alikuwa gamsiana bounce. Akashikwa akaingizwa Nyayo torture chambers akafinywa, ndio sababu siku hizi anatembeanga hivi. Don't joke. Hizo enzi zilipita. Saa hii tunatisha watu mpaka mnatisha president. Yaani nyinyi muliamua, na mimi nasema ya kwamba wewe uongo. We nyinyi danganyi. Hapo naenda hapo ati Ruto must go back to State House. Aya, tuendelee, si ndio? Sasa niko na watu wangu hapa wa nguvu sana, wengine wa maana sana, kabla CS akuje atuambie mambo ya Taifa Health. Sasa niko na watu wa nguvu sana, wataperform kwa Color Fest. Najua mnawapenda sana wa Douglas wako hapa ndani ya nyumba. Uko tayari na wao? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, nataka kuintroduce wase wawasalimie ndio mjue Color Fest tutakuwa pale. Na of course hata DJ Wiwa. Si mmempenda DJ Wiwa? Wapi nduri ya DJ Wiwa wewe? Kuna ma DJ lakini wacha nikwambie, ama DJ kina Joe Mfalme, sijui kina Cream de la Cream, sijui DJ Daffy. Bro, hawezi kitu dem anafanya. Si wakuja hapa tuambie wa spin na miguu. Hebu DJ Wiwa chuna na mguu asikie. Mama sana wapi nduru wewe. Kwa hivyo DJ Wiwa pia atakuwa pale juu. Tutakuwa tuna spin na yeye, tunacheza Color Fest. Mimi siwezi toka na hii t-shirt yangu ikiwa white. Nataka ipuliziwe, ipigwe, kila kitu ikue. So wacha niite wa Douglas wakuje hapa watugusie ngoma moja. Wasiguze sana juu Color Fest bado iko. Ladies and gentlemen, wa Douglas wa anguka nayo. Wa Douglas wako wapi? Wa Douglas. Hey! Hey! Kwanga bado nachukuliwa madamsi. Anguka nao itabaki meflo na vibe. Anguka nao kwako single for now. Lakini Douglas neja patikani. Atulim naisa sweet ndo tangiwai. Nikupini location na kofana na hita. Sukate call niko chomba ya TV. Najua utakuwa ilizo release. Hata ni kushow kwanza kwa gari down. Nishashika poa na tuende chini kwa chini. Akiwa adi na mimi Saido na sisa shit city tuna feel free. Take a video na post pale NTC. Jina ni Kandel pull up city talent. Anguka nayo Choki, anguka nayo Choki, anguka nayo Don't down low now. Stand up to your feet mikono juu alafu click down. Puliza pesa alafu one leg get up. Anguka nayo one leg get up. Anguka nayo Anguka nayo Anguka nayo Anguka nayo Anguka nayo kama uko na new cut. Anguka nayo kona pati na mabwata. Anguka nayo round tuko hii bata. Anguka nayo ati Anguka nayo ati Anguka nayo Anguka nayo Anguka nayo Anguka nayo Nakatika mfuko ya banduka. Cheza chini kukonizo maduka. Anguka nayo baby girl ushatika. Tangi matisho za wakati. Amadani tabu serikali. Juni serikali Kaka asali. Unajua ni nani Flow mshati Nimebunga hapo down Mtekiwa poa daily Mana Anguka nayo 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 Tupa me feel relaxed.
anguka nayo kama kona ni ukata, anguka nayo kona pati na makosa, anguka nayo round tuko hivyo start, anguka nayo, 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 anguka nayo kama kona ni ukata, anguka nayo kona pati na makosa, anguka nayo round tuko hivyo start, anguka nayo ati, anguka nayo ati, anguka nayo, anguka nayo, anguka nayo, anguka nayo, anguka nayo, wow, shakia, ati shakia, ati shakia ni wada, ni wada, ni wada, hello.
Wapi nduri ya wa Douglas? Mimi sitaki waimbe ngoma ingine. Juu kuna color fest. Unaona hizi tisho zenu za white, tunataka ziende zikiwa za marangi. Ama naaje? Tunapiga hapo color fest, itaweza sana. Wa Douglas watakuwa naogopa hata kuwakaribia. Wanakaa kupiga mtu ngeta.
Sorry.
Kwanza huyu, wewe ulipiga watu siku ya maandamano. Kuanguka nayo kabisa. Wapi nduri ya wa Douglas wewe? So tunapiga color fest pale, staki hii ilikuwa ya kuwagusia tu ndio watu wajue bado wa Douglas wako hapa hivi. Nimezichukua kabla zipotee. Wewe niambie ukikutana na hao watu jioni, unaweza dhani ni musicians ama hao wengine? Unakimbia. Lakini hata na wako na pesa na hawavai ka King Kaka. Lakini King Kaka pia alikuwa anavaa hivyo kitambo. Mungu akamuokoa akamtoa Kaloleni. Akafika hapa. Mungu ni mwema. King Kaka, sasa unaona hawa sasa unaanza kusikia vile ulikuanga. I hope phone yangu bado iko. Kabisa. Na sasa nikuulize wewe sign language. Yes. Hawa watu walikuwa wanafanya anguka nayo. Mbona haukufanya? Haya, nataka ufanye hivyo vile walikuwa wanafanya. Anguka nayo, one lege. Anguka nayo, one... hiyo ni mapanga le. Usiconfuse hawa watu. Usiconfuse hawa watu. Haya, anguka nayo, one lege. Anguka nayo, one lege. Anguka nayo, one lege. Mapanga le, mapanga le, mapanga le. Wewe! So, una translate hata jokes zangu. Haya. Wacha nione translate. Raila Odinga. Baba. Wanajua huyo ni Raila. Haya. Baba ni hapa, si ndio? Baba ni hapa. Sakaja. Mandonye. Aya. Sakaja ni Mandonye. Aya. Sakaja. Babu Owino. Hiyo haina. Babu. Okay. MC Jesse. Hii kuongea sana. Hii kuongea sana. Okay. Kithure Kindiki. Na usiweke soprano. Gashagwa. Kindiki ni? Analala. Analala sana. Kindiki. Hiki ni kiboza, hiki ni kikindiki. Haya, Gashagwa. Meno. Meno, iko nje. Okay, Ruto. Yamedanganya. Ladies and gentlemen, our CS is here, our Cabinet Secretary for Health is here. Mpigieni makofi, amefika. Asante sana. Asante sana. Waziri na karibu sana. Now, Madam CS. Nimezoea Bwana CS. Madam CS, karibu sana. And welcome to this wonderful segment. Now, as you've come here, we were just having fun, waiting for you. And in the meantime now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be introducing, without fear of contradiction, without makasa, without anything, my co-MC, Trevor Ombija. Tumpigie makofi Trevor Ombija. Ako na sauti nzito sana. And because we are going to the other section, today is not very official, Madam CS. We are also having fun. These are young people, these are youthful people, and my Gen Z. Gen Z, eh? Gen Z, ah! So ninaomba sisi wote tusimame sasa so that we start this wonderful program with the national anthem, and I would like to invite Kayamba Africa wakuje hapa, and at the same time I'll be handing over the program to the well-able presenter Trevor Ombija to take us further in this. Trevor.
Asante sana. Wapi makofi MC Jesse. Thank you very, very much. And now let's all be upstanding for the national anthem, the first stanza and the ESC first stanza as well. Kayamba Africa.
Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Asante sana. As we are still upstanding, let me call upon Mulinge Mutuse for a word of prayer, and then we'll start this program officially. We'll only take 1.5 hours for the official commemoration of the World AIDS Day. Amtaki maombi? All right. Mulinge.
Tuamini Mungu na tuombe. Baba, katika jina la Yesu tunakushukuru kwa wema wako. Asante Mfalme kwa kutupa siku ya leo ambao tumekuwa tukiitazamia. Tunakushukuru siku ya leo kwa kutuneemesha kukusanyika pamoja kama taifa Mfalme, na kusherekea yote ambao tumeona ukitenda katika maisha yetu. Tunakushukuru kwa ajili ya program zote ambao zilianza asubuhi, na hivyo tunapoendelea Mfalme, tunakuomba ukoe pamoja nasi. Kila jambo tuongoze, hili utukufu ukurudie. Asante kwa kuwa wewe ni mwaminifu, na ni katika jina la Yesu naomba na kushukuru. Amen. Asante.
Na Mutuse walikuwa nafikiria, lakini wameconfirm sio wewe. Najua hivyo ndio walikuwa nafikiria. Madam CS, it's good to see you. All our dignitaries, welcome so much for this function officially. We're only going to take about 1.5 hours. We know that mnataka kuenda kukata rumba na kusakata. Sio? Let me see if the youths wangapi wamefurahi kwa hapa leo. How many of you are happy to be here? Thank you so much. How many of you are in the race? Wangapi walikimbia wakapata medals? A big round of applause to yourselves. Asante sana. Without any further ado, let me call upon now John Kisang, the Deputy County Commissioner, just to give us welcoming remarks, and then to kimbize program teke, because I know there's still a function you're still waiting for at the end of this.
Waziri wetu, Dr. Dibora, our PSS who are with us here, CEOs of all the institutions that are represented here, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to this place. I am John Kisang, the Deputy County Commissioner Starehe, and I'm representing the County Commissioner who could not make it here because of other equally important engagements. So I welcome you to Langata, one of our 11 sub-counties in Nairobi. And with me, I have come with my ACCs, chiefs, and chiefs who are here. I just want them to stand and wave for us. Just stand and wave, chiefs. So thank you so much, and all the people who have come today, imefaulu. We thank the organizers for this important day, and that we wish that we will continue like this, Waziri, and we will be happy. So thank you so much. Nimekimbia kilomita 4 na nimeshukuru sana nikamaliza. We used to run when we were young, but now maisha imeenda, miaka imeenda. So nashukuru sana, karibuni, tuendelee, Mungu awabariki. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, makofi kwa John Kisang, is the Deputy County Commissioner. Yes, we are still within time, but I'd asked you earlier on wangapi walikimbia. Now this is the awards ceremony. And I'd like to call upon Dominic Ondieki. Dominic Ondieki from Athletics Kenya. Aje hapa juu tafadhali. Dominic Ondieki from Athletics Kenya. He'll be supported by Dr. Patrick Amoth, Director General for Health. They'll start by awarding the 21 kilometers half marathon. 21 km half marathon, and then we'll go to the 10 kilometers road race, and then the 10 kilometers wheelchair race. In that order. Everybody who took part, stand by. This is your award ceremony. Wapi Dominic Ondieki. Dominic Ondieki to join me up here, tafadhali. Then take us through how this is going to work for Athletics Kenya, and the award ceremony will start with the 21 kilometers half marathon.
Thanks, Trevor, for 21-kilometer men and women. I would kindly request the Honorable Cabinet Secretary to come and present the award to the winners.
The winners are women, number 3, Joyce Chepkemoi. Joyce.
Wapi Joyce Chepkemoi. Ama nichukue hii bronze medal yako haraka haraka. Wapi Joyce Chepkemoi. That is the number 3.
Number 2, Jessica Chelangat. Let's be very fast.
Jessica Chelangat, number 2. Jessica Chelangat.
And the winner, Vayora Chemweno.
Viola Chemweno. Ako wapi? Ama tumchukulie check yake mbio mbio. Viola. All right, we'll hand over the checks to them when they come. Let's go to the next category.
The next category is the 10-kilometer men's race. Next category is 21 kilometers men.
21 kilometers men winners. Number 3, Eric Kiprangat.
Wapi makofi ya Eric? Eric Kiprangat. Ni kama mbio ilikuwa serious. Athletes bado wamepotea kidogo. Ni kuisha wameisha.
Through the chief guest, the number 3 goes home with 100,000.
100,000 Kenya shillings. Where's the applause for that?
Number 2 goes home with 200,000.
200,000 Kenya shillings.
And the winner takes home 250,000.
250,000 Kenya shillings. That's a total of 550,000 if my math is correct.
Absolutely.
Watu wa magazeti unajua tupendi hesabu sana. So 550,000 in prize money awards to all the winners here. We're calling upon the athletes who are still out there. Come and receive your checks tafadhali. Kabla tuonane nyuma ya tent.
Number 2, Wesley Kipkemoi.
Wesley Kipkemoi. A call for Wesley Kipkemoi.
Wesley Kipkemoi. And the winner Jonathan Coril.
Jonathan Korir. It is important for us to announce all the winners here because in God we trust. Everybody else must bring evidence. So as long as we've announced you here, consider yourself the winner. That check yako tukipotea nayo ni sawa. We're buying time for you to show up all the athletes who are in the winning category of the races to come up. This is a 21 kilometers half marathon, men and women. We've just announced. Any of the representatives can also come and pick the checks.
I'll call upon Alfred Tabut, the vice chair, Nairobi. I know these athletes are at the doping control station, most likely. So they'll receive on their behalf.
Your soul, take you to a place you never been before. Africa tonight, come here to most banner. I'm Kenyan, so you know I'm a marathon runner.
Deche. On behalf
I'm currently not in a position to kill poverty. Snack you to Kwempezo, Sydney, Harlem, please. Not after kids with many different currencies. Black check disease. Wife akidai shopping twende overseas. Mekamna gari kubwa, let me show my kids. Naziaka juu ya meza uone emblem jadinya. Shiski ndio stima wacha kenje nani.
On behalf of the winners, let's appreciate as Mr. Alfred Daput, Vice Chair Nairobi Athletics, receives on behalf of the 21 kilometers winners. A round of applause. Thank you, Madam Waziri.
Asante sana. I've just been informed now that after the winners are declared, they are through anti-doping control. That's why they are not here, to ensure that they win without any enhancement.
10 kilometers women. Number 3, Winfred Mbite. Number 2, Diana Wanza. And the winner, Gladys Kwamboka.
And I call upon the UN Resident Coordinator, Mr. Stephen Jackson, to be able to present these awards to the winners.
Again, this is presented to the Athletics Kenya official on behalf of the athletes, because protocol commands that they have to undergo the anti-doping test before the official awards. A round of applause for him. This category has just been awarded their checks. Total of 550,000 shillings in prize money being awarded to different categories.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. On the men category, number 3, Zakaria Kirika. Let's appreciate him. Number 2, Shadrach Kipiegon. Tumeka wachoyo makofi. And the winner, Shadrach Gumbau. Let's appreciate them. The absentia, are the athletes inside here? I believe they are still in the doping control. The absentia, allow me to call upon so the representative is going to receive. Hurry up kindly.
Officials from Athletics Kenya to come and receive the checks on behalf of the athletes as we await the process at the Anti-Doping Control Center. All right. Let's hasten the process a bit.
Let's
Trying to catch
appreciate
up
the
on time.
athletes have just arrived. Let's appreciate them. I can see Gladys Kwamboka. I can see Winfred Mbite.
Kindly just go up the stand so that we take a picture of you. Asante sana. Thank you very, very much.
Let's appreciate them once again. Number 3, Winfred Mbite. Number 2, Number 2, Diana Wanza. Let's appreciate them. And the winner, Gladys Kwamboka from National Police Service.
And I call upon Mr. Bright Redman to come and present this award to these winners. Bright Redman is the PEPFAR coordinator for the country.
Ten kilometers men, are they around? 10 kilometers men, last call. "21 kilometers. As we are consulting on the 10 kilometers, wheelchair, let's get ready.
Asante sana. Big round of applause for the athletes as they go down. Thank you very, very much. Getting ready for the 10 kilometers wheelchair race as well.
10 kilometers wheelchair race, women category. Number 3, Christine Mudeu. Christine.
Where's Christine?
Let's appreciate her. Once again as she comes. Number 2, Lecho Akot. Let's appreciate her. And the winner. Can you guess the winner? Caroline Wanchira.
And I call upon the Principal Secretary, State Department of Medical Services, Mr. Harry Kumtai, to make the presentation to the winners.
Wheelchair men, get ready. Riche. Wheelchair, men category. Number 3, Milton Ilahuya. Let's appreciate it. Number 2, John Wambua. And the winner, Dennis Ndungu.
I call upon the Principal Secretary, State Department of Public Health and Professional Standards, Madam Mary Mugoni, to present the awards.
There you go, asante sana. Big round of applause. And as a quick announcement, thank you so much. I believe that's the end of it. Asante sana Dominic, asante sana Dr. Patrick Amot, Director General, Ministry of Health. There's also a quick announcement to all the athletes from number 4 to number 10. You're meant to get some awards as well. Amujasahaulika. Tafadhali look for Alfred Tabut. He's raised his hand over here. Athletics Kenya. We wouldn't manage to line up all of you here in the interest of time. But we are aware from number 4 up to number 10, you will still get your awards. Kindly see Athletics Kenya official Alfred Tabut. All right? Thank you very much. A big round of applause for all the winners. Tafadhali DJ, asante sana. Asanteni sana. Without any further ado, it's time for cake cutting. Hapo sasa ndio nakuanga expert mahali pa kukula. But I'd like to call Jane Mukami. Jane Mukami to come up. A big round of applause for Jane Mukami. You better clap for her because she's the cake matron. Akiona kama hujapiga makofi keki unaweza kosa keki hapa. Jane Mukami will take us through this next session very briefly.
Thank you so much. All protocols observed. I would like to invite our dignitaries for this cake cutting session. Our chief guest, Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Deborah Baraza, PSMOH, PS Hari Kimtai, PS Mary Modoni, Director General for Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, the Chair NSDCC, Mr. Geoffrey Gitu, CEO NSDCC, Dr. Ruth Masha, Country Coordinator PEPFA, Brian Retman, Country Director UNAIDS, Mr. Victor Bompai, CEO AHF, Dr. Samuel Kinyanjui, the NEFAC CEO, Mr. Nelson Otoma, and the community representatives already identified, as I request the cake to be brought here in front. Please join us.
I believe it's only easier if they all move here, so where the cake can be cut from this point. All right, and face the cameras on that side as well. Then we'll take the pictures up here. Okay? Once the cake is done, and then there's a photo session right up here. All right? Kayamba Africa, sasa ni wakati ni wenu sasa. I'm a DJ Wiwa. Remember, like I mentioned, in God we trust. Everybody else must bring evidence, so kindly make sure you face the cameras. And we broadcast that on the screen as well, so that those who cannot see from the back can see that indeed it's a cake we are cutting. Sunday. All right, hold on 1 second. DJ, shikilia kidogo, DJ shikilia, Jane.
Sorry, before we cut the cake, we would like to remember the ones we have lost to AIDS-related deaths. And we have a few candles. We would like to light the candles and have a moment of silence, kindly.
After we light the candles, we'll observe a moment of silence. So we beg your indulgence on that. Once we light the candles, kindly let's all observe a moment of silence. I will let you know when that moment is here.
Kindly, community representatives, join us too. Thank you. Let's all stand and have a moment of silence to remember all those who have lost to AIDS-related illnesses.
is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn, and hold out your candle for all to see. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world.
Thank you so much. We would also like to read the message on the cake, and it says, together we remember, together we heal, through love and solidarity. Together we remember all those who have lost their lives to AIDS-related deaths. We heal, and then we need to come together through love and solidarity, all the stakeholders, to meet the target by 2030 to end AIDS as a public health threat. I would now like to invite our chief guest and 2 community representatives to cut the cake, and then we'll have a photo. Thank you.
All right, as that is happening in Kaka, over to you sasa. Ngati keki inakatwa sasa. In Kaka.
Hey.
Twende DJ Wiwa.
Tuamke tu tuimbe. Help me.
Let's all be upstanding tafadhali.
Let's get up, please.
There's a cake cutting in commemoration.
Tuamke si wote, let's give an honor to. I'm sure we have friends, families who are not with us today. Sing! Hey!
Uliniwacha mi bila fahamu kuwa ni yako zamu, angalau ungeniambia eti unakam nitulie hamu wangu wa dhati. Hey, tamaa zangu zimenikwamia mikononi.
Kila mtu mkono hapa, mkono hapa. Let's wave our goodbyes. Hey! Tuta.
Usafiri salama, msalimu Maulana.
Hey!
Tutaonana baadaye. Tutaonana baadaye. Wendwa ndio.
Hey!
Tutaonana baadaye.
Nakam.
Penda tabasamu.
Tutaonana
baadaye. Nakam.
Penda tabasamu.
Tutaonana baadaye.
Hey. Wow. Okay. Natamani kujua what your plot is. Hata landlord upena notice. Akimaulana, ingilia kati. Peace ni expensive but worth it. Kwa nini uliamua kutangulia? Diet yangu imechange. Tabia kulia usingizi na kutamani kushoto kulia. Unakuja lini? Nitabasamu tena. Unanitenda. Aliyekuchukua sijui nani alimtuma. Maombi ni ati wakati rudi nyuma. Jioni nikirudi nikupate kwa nyumba. Zimeshikana ni ngumu kuvuja but kaa una haraka.
Nenda kwanza.
Niko na iBags.
Sijalala.
Na usalimie. Hey.
Salimu Maulana.
Tutaonana.
Safiri salama. Salimu Maulana.
Tutaonana. Hey.
All right. Asante sana. Let me request all our dignitaries to come and line up here while they voted for photo session. I know I mentioned earlier on that in God we trust. Everybody else must bring pictures, videos, and time codes. All right? Na M-Pesa messages. Kindly line up over here, tafadhali, for pictures. All our dignitaries in the cake cutting session, tafadhali. Just line up here for a quick photo session, and then Kayamba Africa will hand over to you. Only 3 minutes. Then we get into some remarks from our leaders here. All right? Tafadhali, let's just line up over here. All the dignitaries who are here in the cake cutting process, Madam PS, Madam CS, all the PSs, Dr. Patrick Amot, tafadhali, just a quick photo session right next to the cake so that we have evidence that ndio tulikuwa na keki. All right? Do not worry, keki itakufikia pale nyuma. I can see some worried faces back there. Don't worry. We'll make sure you get some pieces of cake as well. For my colleagues in the media industry, tafadhali, wanaomba muangalie mbele. All right? They're saying that you come up here, tafadhali. All the dignitaries come up here for the session of our media guys. They want to take a picture. Tafadhali, let me just have them up here. Kayamba Africa mtasonga nyuma kidogo tu. Let all the dignitaries come up here, all the way to where I'm standing. Hapa hivi mwisho. Omanyala. Vipi? Good to see you. All right. Now, line up, face forward. All smiles, tafadhali. In just less than 2 minutes, let's finish the photo session. Face forward, tafadhali. All smiles in 1, 2, 3. First picture. Second picture. Third picture. All smiles. Line up. Line up. All right. In 1, 2, 3. Photo session, and it's done. Kayamba Africa, over to you. Just one song. One song.
All the dignitaries kindly remain there standing. Simameni tu hapo because we're celebrating Kenyan. Sindio? Wale walitutangulia na wale ambao bado tunaendelea, tafadhali. If you're a proud Kenyan, wherever you are, simama juu. If you're a proud Kenyan, simama juu popote ulipo. DJ wekelea hiyo. Let's celebrate together. Aya, DJ tupe tu hewa tafadhali. Tupe hewa.
Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu. Kenya tunayoipenda daima. Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu. Kenya tunayoipenda daima. Kenya yetu tunayoipenda daima. Twajivunia sana tukijiita wa Kenya, nchi yenye baraka. Twajivunia sana tukijiita wa Kenya, nchi yenye baraka. Kenya nchi yenye baraka. Wapi kelele wa Kenya? Nchi ya usalama, kamwe hatutaiacha. Kenya makao yetu ni nchi ya usalama, kamwe hatutaiacha. Kamwe hatutaiacha. Anayependa Kenya ni yule mwenye kupenda haki kwa watu wote. Anayependa Kenya ni yule mwenye kupenda haki kwa watu wote. Haki kwa watu wote. Ukipenda Kenya ujitenge na mambo yenye kuvunja amani. Ukipenda Kenya ujitenge na mambo yenye kuvunja amani. Hatutaki matata Kenya. Wapi kelele wa Kenya? Hatutaki matata Kenya. Haya, yes, ongoza, twende mle. Very simple, eh? Very bad, from that side. Haya, tuanza na left, twende. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, nchi yenye upendo, hatutaiacha daima na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha acha milele na milele. Mama yangu tena ni baba yangu, hatutaiacha milele na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele na milele.
Asante sana makofi, asante sana Kayamba Africa, thank you so much. Mimi ni ule prefect mtiaji mwenye nasimamisha ngoma katikati. I know. Asanteni sana. As our dignitaries settle, thank you so much. I'd like to call upon Kisang, John Kisang, to then guide us through the next session of A Decade in Progress, and to call the NSDCC CEO to make her remarks. John Kisang. A round of applause for John Kisang as he comes up. Wapi makofi kama ile yenye mlikuwa mna dance nayo?
Yes. Again, I want to greet you. Habari zetu wote. Now, I don't have much to say, but I want to invite Dr. Ruth Laibon to make a remarks on the ticket of success in the fight against AIDS. Dr. Ruth, karibu sana.
A round of applause for Dr. Ruth Leboni Masha. She's the NSDCC CEO. She's done amazing work. And in the next 10 years, she wants to tell you what we've achieved so far. Asante sana.
Thank you, our Cabinet Secretary, our Principal Secretaries, Chair DG. Allow me to observe protocol. Before I start, I would like to invite Dr. Rose Wafula, Head of NASCOP, to just make a few remarks, and then we will share with you a few pointers on where we are today, World AIDS Day, the first World AIDS Day marathon. Nani hajakimbia? Nani hajakimbia? Nani amekimbia? Good. We ran, and we've been running since 1984. Daktari?
Good afternoon, our Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Deborah, Principal Secretaries, all dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Once again, my name is Dr. Rose Wafula, the head of NASCOP, the National AIDS and STI Control Program, which is the health sector arm that is responsible for the HIV response. It's a great honor, Dr. Masha, for us to be here today. And I think for those who were not there in the 1980s when we were young, they may not understand. But for those of us who are above 50 and so, it's a really rare experience if you think about where we've come from. More so for those who are in the health sector, it was very disturbing. And I'm hoping in today's celebration, we will take time to reflect and be glad that through collaboration we've come this far. It is an honor to be the head of NASCOP at such a season where we have hope and we can sit calmly and have conversations about the future. This was not possible years ago, and therefore I want to thank all of you for the work you have done to bring us this far, and I look forward to continued collaboration together with our colleagues in National Syndemic Control Council. Asanteni.
Thank you very much. That's Dr. Wafula. Sometimes back in 2013, Dr. Wafula and I used to just dream of how we can end AIDS in children. And we used to sit somewhere just thinking about what can we do different. And today we celebrate those milestones. Before I just give you the statistics, allow me to just remind us the history. I know for Gen Zs wale muko hapa, history yetu labda mjui sana. 1984, patient 0. First case of HIV was reported. And we had a study in Majengo. It was an observation cohort that we were observing. And the study was just supposed to check for us sexually transmitted infections. And they discovered
that there were a group of members within those cohort whom they thought would have HIV or whom they thought were HIV carrier because nothing was happening to them. And of course, science later disputed that. 1985, we had about 26 cases reported in Kenya, and all were among sex workers because they're the ones who are willing to go for diagnosis. And of course, in the newspapers, we had the first headline saying, "Killer sex disease in Kenya." So we come from far. 1987, 1989, we had about 3,000 cases, and today we pay tribute to Joe Muriuki, the first man to walk into a media house and say, "Look, this virus is not in animals, it is in people." And Joe Muriuki, Wangeshi started talking to us. For those of us who were in school that time, they came around every high school and they told us that there was a virus. Wangeshi, God rest her soul in peace, allowed us to document her story until she died, and we did that. And Raphael Tuju, in the famous film, The Silent Epidemic, documented the life of Wangeshi even after her death. And this era marked mass denial, stigma, fear, mystery, and of course, accusations and people dying. 1999, President Moi declares HIV as an emergency and a national disaster, and he establishes a National AIDS Control Council and requests that we all come together to coordinate. During that period, we get Cameron drug, which of course was not really the hope we were relying on, and most of the people we lost that time because they were relying on that drug. It was infamous. 2000, we had our first vaccine candidate at Kavi. 2001, we participated in the trials for drugs for preventing mother-to-child transmission. We had Global Fund come here, and President Kibaki in 2002 again took up the war from President Moi, the late President Moi, and most importantly, 2003, PEPFAR. Thank you, Brian. On behalf of Kenyans, we want to say thank you to the people of America, because at this time, Waziri is our first discussion about how we can get everyone on antiretroviral medicine. I want to say that today we are celebrating from Assunta baby. For those who are old, remember how we waited for Assunta's baby. Assunta, a woman living with HIV, decided to get pregnant, and we documented our journey because we were waiting to see what will happen to the baby. And then baby Assunta declared the baby is HIV negative, and she gave hope to many, many Kenyans. So today, we've walked a journey, and in this journey, we can see how far we have come. We have had prevalence rates reducing from as high as 14 to today when you're saying we have 3.3%. And new infections have reduced from about 100,001, 448 in 2013 to 16,752. Most importantly, today we are here to celebrate life. Life of people living with HIV. Life of people of courage. Life of people who have fought stigma. Life of people who are courageous enough to say, I am not going to die. I am going to hang on until treatment comes. Today, while we were running a race. I know most of us almost gave up. I personally almost gave up twice, and I wanted to stop. And every time I stopped, I said, actually, if I stopped here, we'll not finish the race. Sometimes, even at the individual level, that is what they feel. So today, we have about 20,480 AIDS-related deaths. And that is why we have come here to spotlight, because we have a challenge that we have done well. We have reduced new infections, prevalence is going down, but as a country, we have the 7th highest burden of deaths in the world. This is not supposed to happen. It is something we can come together if we supported every brother and sister to go and seek medication. And finally, I think one of the most important things that we need to look at is the children. I don't know who's controlling the slides. You can look at, we are failing our children. And we are failing them because 3,743 children were infected with HIV last year. And we lost 2,607 children to AIDS-related illnesses. Again, we see that new infections continue to occur among children, even when we can prevent mother-to-child transmission. Next slide. Men and boys, vijana mko, are the men here? Today the men are absent, we are very disappointed, but I can see all of them here. Wanaume, muko, I can see you here. We are here to spotlight on the men because the uptake of services, especially HIV and TB services for men and boys, is poorer than for women and girls. And what you're seeing is that whereas there are more women infected or living with HIV, we get more men dying proportionately to the number living with HIV. 485,000 men living with HIV, and they contribute to about 48% of all the deaths that occurred. So we are calling that we support a brother. The song we have just sung says that, light your candle. When you see a brother who is broken, you light the candle for them so that they see the light. So we hope we'll be able to do that. Again, we have a challenge of adolescents, girls, and young women especially, and this is a challenge of teen pregnancies. Last year, 241,281 children, because you have to say them, children and adolescent girls came to our facilities to deliver a baby. We cannot accept child mothers because a child should be in school, should be running, a girl should be playing catty, not doing motherhood. We want to say no to child motherhood until when the child is ready to become a mother. We had about 2,000 new infections among adolescents, and again also sexual and gender-based cases, violence were domiciled around that age group. We do need to go from here to somewhere. Waziri, today we celebrate SHA and Afya Care because we have been worried for so long. I have brought up a child living with HIV, and one time she read a story, donors are exiting, and she came to me and said, who will buy the medicines? And I said, we shall reform health and then medicine shall come. So Waziri, in your leadership, we want to encourage Kenyans to uptake the health sector reforms, the SHA, the Afya Care, because this is the first time we are coming closer, anywhere closer towards self-reliance. Because if everybody will be insured, then even people living with HIV will be insured and they can access commodities. So that child that is now a lawyer and she's doing so well, I keep telling her that, you see, I asked you to continue living because the medicines will soon be here. And that happened. PEFA came in. She was actually patient 00 number 1 in the hospital she went to. And today she's a lawyer working in one of our banks. And I celebrate her as I stand here and also celebrate that the milestones we have done is because of those children. We are also anticipating that as we move forward, we shall do the 10% remaining, and we are calling upon everyone to celebrate the 10 years of success, but to refocus and purpose that we shall stop being silent about HIV. We shall talk to our children, fathers who are here. Is there a father here? Yes, Nyaga is here. Nyaga told us about men who take condoms and place them in the house, hoping that their sons will see them. We want to speak about sex and sexuality to our children with the appropriate age from when they start growing until they become adolescents and adults. We are calling that we stop shying away because our children sometimes perish because of lack of knowledge. I want to stop there and say we do appreciate all of us for coming, and those who have ran the race, please join us again to complete this finished race. And 2030, we hope we shall come back to this very venue to celebrate success. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Dr. Masha. Asante sana. NSDCC has been instrumental in the war against HIV and AIDS. Now, I only have 10 minutes to slot in 5 people. So it means you all have just 2 minutes maximum. You're just telling us what way forward. What do we do forward to achieve the Vision 2030 that we have of eradicating HIV and AIDS? That's all you say. 2 minutes only. Starting with Nelson Otuoma, Executive Director, NEFAC. Nelson Otuoma, big round of applause for him as he comes up. Only 2 minutes. If you see me pacing here, it means your time is up. Ukiona nimeanza kukimbia, you know your time is really, really up. All right? Dr. Samuel Kinyanjui, stand by. You're the next online. 2 minutes only, sir.
Thank you. Madam CS, allow me to say all protocol observed so that I go straight into my point, because I was part of the team that hurried him that we get 2 minutes, although I'll get 3 minutes. Now, during World AIDS Day, we civil society communities, including people in the HIV/AIDS, we are happy to join your team in the Ministry of Health and renew our commitment towards ending AIDS as a public health challenge. Allow me to say that I come from NEFAC, which is a group that has been celebrated and mentioned by Ruth here. So we celebrate those who have left, like Joe Murioki, but we also celebrate those who are still living, including Asunta Wagura and Dorothy Onyango, the teams that founded NEFAC before some of us joined. But the core business of that team was to remind the world that HIV, the H in HIV means human. So it is in the human being. I know progress has been made, and thanks to the Ministry of Health and their partners, including Global Fund and PEPFAR, but there are gaps. We have been alerted to the gap among children, which according to us is quite unacceptable in this day and era and the technology that we have, that we still have children presenting with HIV during birth or breastfeeding. But we welcome the commitment from the Ministry of Health to end AIDS among children by 2030. Of course, somebody said 2027, but if they bring resources, we'll follow them suit and then end it in 2027. But allow me also to say that Kenya, because this program has been working so well, ARVs have turned HIV into a lifelong chronic medical condition. And where there are ARVs, people are not dying. And you now have in Kenya a large cohort of people who are aging with HIV who are presenting with non-communicable diseases. So when we talk about hypertension, diabetes, kidney problems, it is also affecting persons living with HIV. The other point really is that, and we are happy that the PS Public Health is here, if you get a person living with HIV in Kenya who is sick, they are sick from TB. If you get a person living with HIV who have advanced HIV disease or who is dead, it is because of TB. I think something can be done so that we end TB among persons living with HIV and the general public. And therefore, I'm talking to the issue of dockets, because sometimes we follow the HIV path. And I want to stand here and congratulate the Ministry of Health and express our commitment that we support your integration agenda, because HIV will not kill people, but non-communicable diseases or infections like TB will kill people. Going forward, so that I end fast, we do not believe that in this country you have 1.4 million people who have HIV and you come with Social Health Insurance Fund or Social Health Authority and exclude that team. So my strong call today is that we have, as part of integration and a part of going forward to sustain the work Ruth was talking about, get HIV deep inside Social Health Authority. And along that line, we heard of Chronic Illnesses Fund. We also heard of Critical Illnesses Fund. And we think that for children who have HIV, automatically that is emergency and critical. And it should not be ignored by the SAR.
All right.
For people living with HIV who have NCDs, to manage those NCDs, you cannot leave them behind and say that we are taking them to PEPFAR and Global Fund. We must get a way in which we are going to work together to make sure that they are part of Social Health Authority. And our duty is to mobilize all persons living with HIV to register with SAR, so that they also get the benefits that this country is enjoying. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nelson. A big round of applause for Nelson. Just put the microphone down there, it's all right. Dr. Samuel Kinyanjui, Country Program Director, AHF Kenya. Round of applause for him. 2 minutes on the dot, sir. Now you have 1 minute, 59 seconds.
Thank you very much, Honorable Waziri, PSS, all protocols observed. Thank you very much for this opportunity. As part of the civil societies working in this country, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, working with other partners, I think Nelson has already mentioned some of the key points I wanted to mention, but I'd like to say this. First is to acknowledge the great progress this country has made. Thanks to the leadership of the government and to the strong partnership with the particularly PEPFA and Global Fund. We need to applaud them and remember them many times. They've saved millions of lives, many jobs, transformed our community. Number two, if we do not defend what we already have, then we risk losing everything that we have invested in. So we have concerns, and one of the concerns is about reducing funding, but we are grateful that they're reducing funding. Number two of our concern is the continued stigma in the community and the continued discrimination of people living with HIV in our facilities. Why am I saying they are discriminated? Most of our CCCs are in the broken buildings. Most of the healthcare workers working in CCCs, most of them are the ones with chronic illness or indiscipline. And we depend a lot of the time on the partners. So we need to do something about that. What can be done about that? Nelson has already talked. One of the requests we'd like to make as a non-state actors is continued procurement of medicine at a central level. This will ensure quality, efficiency, and so that the quality of medication being given is not of no doubt. The efficiency, because we are buying in bulk. Number two, include people living with HIV under the chronic illness program under SHA. I'm asking specifically, Waziri, for 4,500. We've done the maths per year, only 4,500 per year. You know what that will do? The counties, the hospital will treat people with living with HIV as a customers now. Right now, we are treated as a burden. And that's why no one cares about our clinics. But we only give us 4,500. We'll become a customer, and the counties will be able to meet the needs of these people progressively. Sustainability, there it is. The other thing that we also note is to include, when we talk of integration, let us be careful about the integration, not go the integration. Some countries have gone through integration and lost everything. What is so strong about healthcare, HIV and TB programs is accountability, documentation, and measuring outcomes. The other MOPCs, they don't measure outcome. That's the issue. So if we can take over what is in HIV and bring in the MOPC into it, we are great. And integration will be great for us. Asante sana.
Thank
Mungu
you
awabariki.
very, very much. Where's Brian Redman, the country coordinator, President Emergency Plan for
Asante.
AIDS Relief? That's PEPFA. Also 2 minutes. We appreciate your support.
Asante.
2 minutes.
Waziri, please let me say all protocols observed. And let me also really thank all of the runners that came out. Runners, walkers, and rollers. Really, congratulations to everyone on the races that you participated in. Today we really pause to reflect on how far Kenya has come in its journey to end HIV. It's also an opportunity to celebrate the wins and remind us of work that lies ahead. As Ruth mentioned a generation ago, conversations about HIV were shrouded with fear and stigma. Hushed tones were used to speak about the disease that had wreaked havoc on so many families. Today we speak openly and fight fiercely and continue to stand together as we push for a world that has ended HIV as a public health threat. I'm therefore proud of the incredible steps that Kenya has taken and that has made, and I look forward to the future where HIV is no longer that threat. While the country climbs some steep hills, it's not yet at the summit. It can only get to that point by sustaining and accelerating the progress made so far. This calls for collective action from all of us and demands that Kenya increases its domestic investment in health. Indeed, the year's theme, collective action, sustain and accelerate HIV progress, that's GHSD's or PEPFAR's theme, is a powerful reminder that the journey to an HIV-free Kenya is not one that can be walked alone. It requires all of us working together with a sense of urgency and shared purpose. We have to continue to innovate and really work towards new progress, such as Cabalet, and I'm happy to say that Cabalet is coming in the next year. We also need to continue to address GBV and try to get more men into those services and address those populations that still have not yet come in. So as I look across the audience, I see change makers, health workers, advocates, policymakers, and community leaders that have a power, that really have a power to address GBV and HIV. Let's take a collective action and really work towards ending HIV as a public health threat. Finally, let me allow me to point out that the world is watching Kenya, and that the country is an opportunity to show what we mean by
one of
leaving no one
those.
behind.
It means you are
I'd
at
really
risk.
like to applaud the Ministry of Health for putting together the Sustainability Operational Plan, and it really is the pathway for us to understand how we're going to do that integration that's already been discussed. And I look forward to working with you on making that integration happen and really making it work with UHC to address all those concerns. So I urge you to be bold in your vision as a country, innovate, and remain steadfast in your commitment. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Brian Redman. Let me have Dr. Stephen Jackson, the resident coordinator, United Nations, as well, just 5 minutes. Also want to recognize, actually 2 minutes, we want to recognize the presence of CEOs of BioVax, National Cancer Institute, KEMSA, NACADA, Kenya Pipeline Corporation, and Director, Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. Welcome and thank you for joining. 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, MC. Waziri, waheshimiwa, marafiki, vijana, hamjambo. You know, it's been a long race against HIV/AIDS since 1984. We heard that from Dr. Ruth. We're starting to win the race, but we learned, any of us that ran or rolled or walked this morning learned an important lesson. The last bit of the race is the hardest bit of the race. What we're finding, it's terrific. We have 4 times fewer cases in Kenya of new infections than we had 13 years ago. And you heard the numbers that demonstrate how we're really close to winning this race. But the last bit's the hardest. Why? Because the new infections are in the hardest to reach populations. Whether we're talking about sex workers, people who use drugs, sexual minorities, whether we're talking about kids, whether we're talking about this triple threat that brings together teenage pregnancy, gender-based violence, and HIV infection. So what do we need to do? 4 things, and we need your help. First, we need to come together like we never have before. We need to work together, Kenya government, national level, county level, civil society, you the people in your communities, you the leaders in your communities, with the international partners, and the United Nations is here to help. The second thing that we need to do is to work harder than we ever have before. The third is that we have to work without fear, and we have to destroy stigma wherever it is. The young people of Kenya this summer showed themselves to be fearless. We need that fearlessness in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Fight stigma, stand up against it wherever you are. And finally, we need rights. The global theme for World AIDS Day this year is about choosing the rights path, because this is a human rights issue. And nobody should be exposed to the risk of HIV, and anybody that has HIV has a right to the treatment and the support and the love that they deserve. And so let's all stand together to protect all those things, and let's make sure that, as Dr. Ruth said, we can come here in 2030, run a race, and celebrate that we made it to the finish line. Asanteni sana.
All right, thank you very much. A big round of applause for Dr. Stephen Jackson. Let me have, on behalf of Suzanne Silantoi, Tom Nyakaba. Tom Nyakaba, the Chief Officer Public Health. If you're here and going once, going twice. If you're not here, we are moving on. Tom Nyakaba, on behalf of Suzanne Silantoi. He's not around. Thank you very much. Let me have Geoffrey Gitu, the Board Chairperson, National Systemic Disease Control Council, to make remarks. Geoffrey Gitu, Board Chairperson, National Systemic Disease Control Council, to make his remarks. A big round of applause for him as he comes up. And right after that, sir, in your indulgence, kindly just invite the PS for State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards. 2 minutes, sir.
Cabinet Secretary, all protocols observed. I want to start by introducing my board. Just stand up. Salimieni watu.
Big round of applause for the board. Asanteni sana.
Do we have any officials from NSDCC?
Officials from NSDCC?
Okay, thank you very much. It's an honor to stand with you here today, running for such an important cause, promoting the health of well-being of our men and boys. Whether you ran 2 kilometers or the full 21, this event has been more than just a race. It's powerful. It's a powerful statement of unity and determination to achieve an AIDS-free Kenya by 2030. I hope today's efforts have amplified this vital message. In engaging men and boys is crucial in this fight, not only against AIDS, but also in addressing issues like unintended pregnancies and gender-based violence amongst adolescents. By focusing on their health and well-being, we can create a more inclusive environment that benefits everyone. This commitment also extends to tackling other health challenges such as tuberculosis, substance abuse, and sexually transmitted diseases. This journey to end this pandemic is not easy. It's worth every effort. So let us move forward together, strengthening health systems, scaling up community initiatives, and protecting vulnerable groups. Together, we can build a healthier Kenya. Today, I want to state that stigma is real. Madam Waziri, hata mimi wananiita chair wa condom, which I'm proud if I can make a difference. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Geoffrey Gitu, the board chairperson, National Syndemic Disease Control Council. Allow me to break protocol here in the interest of time, and let me just invite the PS Mary Mudhoni, Principal Secretary, State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards, to come up to the podium. A big round of applause for her. I'm sure you've seen her online doing the Lord's work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Waziri, my colleague PS, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good afternoon. Now, you know, my boss is around, so I don't want to talk much. But looking at the figures that Masha really gave today, that our country has recorded in 2023 approximately 16,752 new infections. Waziri, when I was growing up, for those who are close to my age, you remember very well, you would open your TV screen and the first thing you would see is AIDS kills. You go to a hospital, AIDS kills. You walk anywhere, like we would be having posters all over the city on AIDS kills. My emphasis is one, creation of awareness. These our children, these our Gen Zs, they have not been born when AIDS was real AIDS. And they don't seem to know. That is why the infections are high among the young people. Awareness is going to be key if we really want to eradicate AIDS by the year 2030. Funding. And this, I want to applaud our development partners and other agencies that we've walked the journey together. Don't get tired, because funding sometimes can never be enough. Yes, we will budget for the same, but this is a collective responsibility for all of us, so that we ensure that issues, we clear AIDS by the year 2030. And finally, our foot soldiers in health, the community health promoter. Masha, I want to challenge you that you work very closely with the Division of Community Health, so that we inject this into the curriculum. And while they move from household to household, they will be able to speak to the many, many Kenyans, the 12.5 million households that we have in this country. And I am sure we are going to achieve that which we want. Waziri, I thank you. And back to you.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Mary Mudhoni, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Public Health and Professional Standards. Let me call now upon the PS Hari Kimutai, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Medical Services. A big round of applause for him as he comes up. He's the man behind SHA. He's been talking about it every day. I'm sure he'll mention something about it as well today.
You have also been one of them. Thank you. Our Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Deborah Barasa, my colleague PS, Mary Mudhoni, our Director General, the Board of Management of NSDCC, our development partners represented here today by Brian, and I've seen Jackson has left, and all of us. Can I say also good afternoon? When Trevor said that we have 2 minutes to speak, indeed, from what I wanted to talk about, I've chosen 2 issues. Issue number 1, I look at the figures that NSDCC CEO has presented. Very encouraging because they're declining. Very encouraging. And therefore it tells us one thing. We stand at a very crucial moment. And today, as we celebrate the World AIDS Day, we chose to have a marathon, a race, to end AIDS. And we targeted men. We always believe men lead in our society. It is our time that we men must stand up to lead so that we are able to end AIDS by 2030. We all know that we are many of us, and we come from diverse backgrounds. There are those who are marginalized. We also need to bring them on board, because you cannot leave any community out. Because the moment you leave them outside, then that's where our chain will be broken. That's where we will not achieve our target. But I believe with the efforts the ministry and the government, together with the Lebanon partners, are putting in place, we will be able to achieve our target of ending AIDS by 2030. 2, we've all heard, we've talked about it, and thanks to my colleagues has also mentioned about it. One of the key issues is declining global donor funding, which poses additional challenges to what we want to achieve in our country. And I'm seeing this as one case that is going to derail our process if we are not careful. However, there is hope, ladies and gentlemen, that we have put in a response mechanism that is bold enough. Within the health sector, the reforms that we are bringing I can bold steps in different forums, international, when we talk about reforms that we are undertaking within our country and health sector. Sometimes we are challenged that is too ambitious. But Kenyans, I want to urge you to be ambitious. We have to be ambitious to end AIDS by 2030. If we are not, we will not end AIDS by 2030. What are these ambitions that we have put in, the reforms that we have put in place? We have brought in the universal healthcare coverage. Mbija was calling me Mr. Shah. We have walked this journey together with Mbija, Trevor, and in we are achieving. I want to tell you this, that so far, more than 15 million Kenyans have now registered under SHA. Let's clap for the Kenyans because they are all ambitious. They are racing against time as they continue registering, and I want to urge you all to register because we are all racing against time to end AIDS by 2030. My colleague has talked about community health promoters. We indeed, in SHA and the State Department, have worked very closely with community health promoters, together with our Ngao administration. We've come up with a strategy to make sure that we visit each and every household. Every Kenyan is registered. No one should be left behind. As donors are parting ways with us and saying bye-bye, and I know one of it is 2030. One of the questions that was posed to our cabinet secretary by one of the news reporters is, what do you take of the coming in of Donald Trump power? Do you think the donor partners now will be withdrawn in terms of support, and especially PEPFAR, because that is where we are relying so much? I want to tell you this, that we still have hope. We know that they have helped us, they have laid the foundation for us, but it's time to build on strong foundation. From there, we need to end AIDS. And what are we doing? We are encouraging domestic resource mobilization, and this is where we talk about social health authority. Tujipigie makofi, because all of us here are registered. We've got to strengthen this. We've got to strengthen this. But one of the key issues that I've heard Nelson talk about, we have not left anyone behind. We want members, your members, the 1.4 million Kenyans, to register, and they will benefit from Social Health Authority. I want to tell you this, that our technical teams are still working. We take note of your concerns. We thought that you have the program that is going to take care of you. We also need to bring everybody on board. I remember one time when we were discussing with Brian, and I said, universal healthcare means everyone is in, because it's universal. Otherwise, it will never be universal. So, ladies and gentlemen, our target is to end AIDS by 2030. What have we done as the ministry at the moment in terms of policy? We've developed a roadmap. We've developed a strategy together with our development partners, and we have it. It is ready. What remains now is to roll out that strategy and to bring everyone on board so that we're able to achieve end of AIDS by 2030. So I've spoken within 2 minutes, and I've spoken 2 points. It is therefore my singular honor to request that we all be upstanding as we welcome our chief guest, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Deborah Barasa Mlongo. Tumpigie makofi mpaka afike kwa stage. Asante sana. She's our captain, she's our champion, the one leading us to end AIDS by 2030. Asante sana, Waziri.
Asante, thank you. Please do have your seats. Principal secretaries, chairpersons of boards, CEOs of state corporations, UN resident coordinator, Mr. Stephen Jackson, PEPFAR coordinator, Mr. Brian Retman. We have UNAIDS country director, also Victor, community representatives, our partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me immense pleasure to join you this morning to commemorate 40 years since the first case of HIV being detected in Kenya in 1984. This World AIDS Day is special to me, as the celebration is critical to shape our discourse for the now and future generation who may have not had the chance to see and experience the epidemic in its worst case. We all recall the experience on our continent, the early 2000s. A negligible number of HIV-positive clients had access to diagnosis and life-saving treatment. On the health facilities, they were swarmed with dying patients as doctors struggled to give their best to manage the onslaught of devastating opportunistic infections. Homes were filled with graves, orphans who were helpless filled our communities and our country, and all sectors lost a significant workforce, and the stigma in the communities was at its highest. It was devastating at that time, even as was said by Dr. Rose. HIV and AIDS crisis that threatened the social, economic, and development fabric of the country, and the emergency situation called for out-of-the-norm action. The ravaging epidemic at that time threatened to wipe out communities if nothing was done, and done very fast. The Kenya government declared HIV/AIDS a national disaster in 1999, resulting in a national move towards creating awareness and advocacy for prevention of new infections. And globally, multilateral investments through PEPFAR. Thank you so much, Brian and your team, and really we appreciate the great work and for standing with us throughout this. I have seen practically, even working in the HIV programs, what you have done. and we really appreciate your support, and equally for the Global Fund, who are really instrumental in terms of supporting us to reduce the HIV infections in our setting. Since 2003, the government and its partners have built the essential mechanisms for HIV/AIDS management and strengthened public health systems, which we even leveraged on during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I want to assure Kenyans and partners that we treasure and we will guard the gains made over the years. Today, Kenya has an estimated 1.4 million people living with HIV, with an overall UNAIDS target of 98, 97, 94. As of the end of September, 1.36 million people living with HIV were receiving HIV treatment in Kenya, and there are 3,752 HIV treatment sites, over 2,000 that have been digitized, and over 8,851 HIV testing sites encompassing public, private, and faith-based organization-supported facilities in the country. 90% of people living with HIV on treatment are on the digital platform, and a majority of people living with HIV, that is over 90%, receive care at level 2, 3, and 4, and specifically 21% of people living with HIV are cared for at level 2 facilities, with 27% at level 3 and 45 at level 4. We are also on course with decentralizing high-technology lab services for DNA PCR, with 2 counties, Kisumu and Migori, already onboarded. Within the last 10 years, there has been a remarkable decline in new HIV infections, HIV-related mortality, and mother-to-child transmission by 83%, 64%, and 65% respectively. As a result, people living with HIV today engage in social and economic activities and are core partners in the response. It is the strong partnership and collaboration with every stakeholder here that has transformed the response and made these remarkable achievements. Exciting innovations such as long-acting injectable ARVs for HIV prevention, self-testing, and integral role of affected communities in the response are transforming our approach. Coupled with education and primary prevention efforts, these breakthroughs give us a glimpse of a future free of new infections. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we celebrate, we note that there is need to address a few gaps. One of them being new HIV infections among children and outcomes of children living with HIV and in care, which is still below the UNAIDS target, as has been clearly reflected by Dr. Masha. The men and young people living with HIV have not met the UNAIDS target. There is an urgent need to address the gaps for their own health, but also as key pillars in addressing the work of ending AIDS. We are happy with the DREAM initiative, 000, but then we need to have something that has been customized for the men and the young population. And so we hope that the team will take it up and address it. Again, geographical disparities. We've seen the 10 counties, but we see that there's disparity in progress, which requires our thinking and response in the undeserved counties or underserved counties within our country. Among those already in care, as has clearly been said by our NEFAC colleague, we have people living with HIV having long-term or chronic illnesses, non-communicable diseases, issues of reproductive health and mental health. And so we need to see how to integrate those within our care and treatment. And specialized labeling of standalone HIV comprehensive care clinics, again, they contribute to stigma and discrimination. And that's why we are thinking, how do we ensure that we incorporate it into the sustainable Taifa Care program? So, ladies and gentlemen, Theodore Roosevelt once said, being a good citizen demands honesty, faithfulness, and courage, virtues that are equally critical in this battle. We must come out of the emergency mode. It is time we had honest conversation on self-reliance and charting the path to a sustainable HIV response, as has been clearly been talked about by PS Kimtai. So in the coming year, our focus is to evolve and realign the HIV response through relevant legal and policy tools and plans. This will guide national and county efforts towards achieving self-reliance in the HIV response by 2030. Key reflections include strengthening of financing model, governance and government institutions responsible for HIV, and building on His Excellency the President William Ruto's health reforms under UHC or Taifa Care through the primary healthcare strategy as the anchor for the transformation of the HIV program, and guided by WHO framework for integration of services and health system blocks, including human resource, commodities, data and information system to increase efficiency, promote equity, and maximize resource utilization. Support of operationalization of the Social Health Authority that includes HIV prevention and control in the essential benefit package as a key tool to sustainability within the context of publicly financed primary health care is really critical. And the great news is clinical encounters for HIV, non-communicable diseases, and advanced HIV disease will be captured in this new model. And I urge all people living with HIV, let us enroll, let's get registered, let us contribute according to our financial capacity. Utilizing Kenya's enormous potential for local manufacturing of pharmaceutical and healthcare products, again, is really critical. Dr. Rose was sharing with me that the commodities would cost up to 27 billion, and that is why we really need UPEPA this time, even as we transition. But for us, as a country, let us think of sustainable solutions. Let us leverage on the manufacturing industries that we have and see how we can have local manufacturing. Thank you, thank you. He understands local manufacturing of ARVs within our country. So behind every statistic, we know that there lies a life story of struggle, resilience, and hope. And today we honor those who have succumbed to AIDS and those who live with HIV and the communities, families, and individuals who stand with them every day. I also wish to acknowledge with admiration the efforts and immense contribution from the national and county governments, the partners including UN, PEPFAR, and Global Fund, the media, religious leaders, communities, CSOs, among others, who have been really supportive even to this. And we hope even for the last mile, a race to end AIDS, your support will continue. Last but not least, I want to acknowledge NASCOP and NSDCC, the key institutions in my ministry that have ably driven this progress. Let us continue with the synergy within the ministry, the various sagas. You see SHA is now here, so it really calls for the ministry to work in collaboration and synergy. During his address to the nation last week, His Excellency President William Ruto reiterated his commitment to providing universal health coverage that is under through the flagship health reform initiative, now known as the Taifa Care. And on this World AIDS Day, let us commit to being part of these reforms, learning and listening to one another as we make progress towards perfection. Together we will break barriers to health and create an inclusive society in Kenya where everyone, regardless of their status, can access quality, preventive, promotive, and treatment services, especially the poor and vulnerable. And so the Taifa Care reforms are critical in this juncture. It is a bold step towards equalizing and health services and ensuring no one, absolutely no one, is left behind. Our collective unwavering support and collaboration has saved lives, restored families, and it is the same spirit that will secure the hope of an end to AIDS by 2030 and drive us to self-resilience. Thank you very much.
All right, asante sana. A big round of applause for Waziri. Asante sana. And CS, just with your, if you indulge me, please, I'd like to guide you to that podium. That's a place where we're going to do the launch. And the executives in the front row kindly flank the CS over there. You will get a pair of scissors. That's where the official launch will be. I'm buying time for my media guys so that you get the perfect shot there. We said in God we trust. Everybody else must bring evidence, videos, and M-Pesa messages. All right? So this is going to happen in the next short while. We are launching 2 documents, a decade of progress in the country HIV response, and also Kenya's operational plan for enhancing country readiness to sustain the HIV response to 2030 and beyond. Now, the operational plan outlines Kenya's roadmap towards a country-owned HIV response. as they still line up over there. I'll be showing you videos on the screen so that you see what the documents are all about. Kindly make sure you have a bit of space there. So there's some pyros that will come up. So make sure you have some space. All the dignitaries over there will be counting.
Waziri, asante sana, and CS, just with if you indulge me, please, I'd like to guide you to that podium. That's a place where we're going to do the launch. And the executives in the front row kindly flank the CS over there. You will get a pair of scissors. That's where the official launch will be. I'm buying time for my media guys so that you get the perfect shot there. We said in God we trust. Everybody else must bring evidence, videos, and M-Pesa messages. All right? So this is going to happen in the next short while. We are launching 2 documents, a decade of progress in the country HIV response, and also Kenya's operational plan for enhancing country readiness to sustain the HIV response to 2030 and beyond. Now, the operational plan outlines Kenya's roadmap towards a country-owned HIV response. As they still line up over there, I'll be showing you videos on the screen so that you see what the documents are all about. Kindly make sure you have a bit of space there. So there are some pyros that will come up. So make sure you have some space. All the dignitaries over there will be counting. We'll count down from 5 all the way to 1. But just make sure you have enough space so that there's pyros there. There's a bit of heat, so kindly step back a bit. To all my dignitaries, just step back and I'll count. I'll count before you count officially. So just step back to avoid the pyros. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. And DJ, yes. Makofi. There you go. We're launching 2 documents there. They're right on your screen as well. Yes. A decade of progress in the country's HIV response and Kenya's operational plan for enhancing country readiness to sustain the HIV response to 2030 and beyond. DJ, we wound the decks. Alright. That is also the point. We will take the hard copies and the CS will give them as follows. To NSDCC board chairperson, just hand them over, just hand over the hard copies as you take the pictures. The CS will also hand over to the Principal Secretary of the Department for Public Health and Professional Standards, the hard copies. Also to the NSDCC Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Marsha, Director General for Health, Dr. Patrick Amos, President Coordinator United Nations. Ensure you have your copy, and then I'll request all of you to come to the front. I'll request all of you to come to the front once you have your hard copy, and then hold them up for a quick photo session. Just all of you come and line up the front over here. Once you have your hard copies, tafadhali, all the dignitaries just line up the front up hivi, so that we get you all in front of the cameras, and then hold them up and smile. 1, 2, 3. All the dignitaries just come and line up over here with your hard copies. Spread out. You want them up? Alright, there's a request from the media people that you come up to the podium. Okay? That's alright, just come up to the podium. Alright, let's have the dignitaries line up from here. Alright, there you go. Kindly line up and then hold up the books that you have, the reports that you have. Yes. There you go. Hold them up and then line up and spread out. Not too far. Those who are tall can go to the back. Move to this other side, tafadhali. And then hold up the books. And we'll be counting in 3, 2, 1. Ensure it doesn't cover your face. All smiles in 1, 2, 3. All smiles on the back there. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Let's get the pictures. Another moment there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we should be good to go. Asanteni sana. All good. I'm always biased to my media people because we come from the same side. Are we good? Great. Allow my dignitaries to come down, and then I'll call upon Douglas Bosire. Douglas Bosire to come and give a quick vote of thanks. DJ Punguza Kidogo. As the dignitaries settle down, let me call upon the World AIDS Day 2024 Planning Committee Chair, Douglas Bosire, to give a quick vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Trevor. The Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Health, Dr. Deborah Barasa, and the entire entourage of government and non-government actors that have accompanied you. Gertrude Stein, an American poet, once said that a silent gratitude is not very much useful to anyone. And we take this opportunity, therefore, to just come to the podium to thank all of you for having turned up in large numbers, not only in the planning process, but also in the commemoration of this very day. We sincerely are grateful that, Madam Cabinet Secretary, you took your time and came to launch this half marathon about a month ago at the Landmark Plaza. And actually, today you are here to witness the marathon itself. Makofi ya waziri tafadhali. We appreciate you. We appreciate your principal secretaries, Dr. Ari Kimtai. We appreciate Mama Mary Mudhoni. We appreciate the DG. We appreciate the entire Ministry of Health. We acknowledge the support that you have gotten from the NSDCC board, led by Chairman Geoffrey Gitu and the CEO and the entire board of directors, because you gave us a chance to plan for this event. And I think we have not done a very bad job. Where we have missed, before all these people, we asked you be a bit lenient. Musahau tu hiyo kidogo, msikaangalie hiyo. Mtuache siku moja tu, hata waziri amesema sawa. Thank you. The Nairobi City County, they were here. Madam Waziri, we had 1,000 community health promoters from Nairobi City County. They were here with us today. The CC member is out of the country and she had sent apologies. But they are with us and we work very, very closely with them. To our heroes and heroines of the HIV response, the communities of people living with HIV, the communities of adolescents and young people, the communities of the key populations, makofi kwa tafadhali. They have stood with us, and you saw during the cake cutting here, they came, they danced, and they sang for the prosperity of this country. Our development partners, both bilateral and multilateral, Dr. Stephen Jackson was here shortly, PEPFAR is here represented by Brian Reitman, and all of you, the Global Fund is here as well. Thank you very much. We really sincerely appreciate it. The KCM chair, your KCM team was here today. Asante sana. Thank you. Our implementing partners, both from the state and the private sector, Dr. Kinyanjui is one of them. And allow me, Madam Waziri, although we are short of time, but allow me to quickly mention some of the partners that we have worked with, because this is the multi-sectoral response that we are building, because we cannot do it alone as the health sector. Athletics Kenya, who have managed this thing with us, we did not know where to begin. But AK held our hands. They are represented here, Ondieki is here, and their chair was here, Tabut. You could see, even they showed us how to shoot the blanks. Yes, thank you very much. PS Kenya, Antol Plus, Huduma Kenya, Sports Kenya, who are the, who are the owners of this stadium. Ministry of Foreign and Development, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Maybets, AHF, Kenya Medical Training College. The CEO was here and he ran with you. Mount Kenya University, Kenya Urban Roads Authority, Kenya National Highways Authority, Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, AMREF, UNICEF, Pepsi. The Pepsi gave us 30,000 bottles of water. Clap for Pepsi, please. Thank you very much. PHDA, TV47, Africa Heart, Anti-Doping Association of Kenya, ADAC, Guru Nanak Hospital, Sifao, the ones, the Toyota people, they gave us the lead car, which was also timing the athletes so that we could know who won fairly. National Police Service, National Youth Service, National Police Service, and National Youth Service, Madam CS gave us 500 officers. From yesterday night, they have been at work, and they are still at work. Makofi for National Police Service, and anyways, thank you. LVCT Health, NEFAC, USID, Ampath, Uzima, Medionics, Equity Afia, Lions, Nairobi West Hospital, Kenya Pipeline Corporation, and I think the CEO of Kenya Pipeline Corporation is here. Kenyatta National Hospital, UNAIDS, CF Kenya, Oraquick, NCBA, Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital, Blue Shield, Kenya Red Cross, Bwana PS gave us 12 ambulances. 12 ambulances, and they have been with us today. Thank you very much. NASCOP, Dr. Rose, you are here. Thank you for giving us your team to plan with. NACADA, the CEO of NACADA is as well here. Asante sana for this journey. of ensuring the health and well-being of men and boys. The members of the fourth estate, the media, they are the ones who have reverberated this story, and they're the ones who made the people aware about this activity and therefore register. Our able MCs for the day, Trevor and MC Jesse. Makofi kwa Trevor and MC Jesse tafadhali. Now the artists who are here, I associate today dancing Ananguka Nayo, you know? Anguka Nayo. Wadaglis mko wapi? King Kaka. You brought the house down, man. Thank you very much. And I think we are going to have a lot of it in the afternoon, isn't it? You are here with us, eh? Thank you. We are not going anywhere. Asante sana. And then, Madam CS, lastly, the ABO committee that we were planning with. I was the chair, but I had two co-chairs, Dr. Murugi Misheni and also Caroline Kinoti. I cannot forget to thank you enough. Lastly, we really appreciate the hand of the Almighty God, because yesterday, the day before, and on Thursday, Nairobi was raining. We were very afraid that today would rain. We went down on our knees and prayed that today, let the rain come in the afternoon, in the evening, after we have finished with the race. And indeed, the Lord has blessed this day, and you can see it has turned out to be a success. A round of applause, please, for the Almighty. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Our greetings to your families, and stay safe. Mungu awabariki. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Asante sana, Dr. Bosire. A round of applause for Bosire. He was the chairperson of who was planning all this, and it was successful. Now, without any further ado, we promise you will end at exactly 1. It's 9 minutes to 1. Let me call upon my co-MC, MC Jesse. Yeah. Wapi makofi MC Jesse, by the way. Aha, over to you now. Sasa wewe ndio tuombe tufunge hii program.
Mimi lazima niwaombe, usijali. And Madam CS, thank you so much. Huyu ni mmoja wa wale kina mama ambao wanaongoza taifa hili kwa heshima na taadhima. Tumpigie makofi dada. Munajua, do you know what it means to have a woman leader? Do you know what it means to have a woman leader nyinyi? Munajua sisi wa Meru tuko naye. Munajua gavana wetu anaitwa nani? Nani? Kawira Mwangasa. Si mnamjua? Mnajua zile shinda tumempatia nyinyi ya muelewi. Hata sijakasirika. I'm still very happy. Huyu mandamu huyu mnafaa hata mfurahi tuko na mandamu. Because huko Meru Kawira na anabesumbuliwa huko Meru. Anaimpichiwa kila wakati na haendi. Lakini shida pia akiongea tunashtukanga. Ai Trevor, hata afadhali nyinyi huko kwenu Kisumu amna shida ya matamshi. Sisi tuko na shida ya matamshi. Kawira akienda kuongea hapo kwa bunge, saa ile anaimpichiwa akiongea Senate. Sometimes I feel embarrassed, but ni shida ya matamshi. Ni mkali Meru, anasema nyinyi wanaume nitawafinya wote. Lakini akikuja kwa Senate anajifanya mhambo. Honorable Chair, I want to say that it is because I'm a woman that I'm going through all this. 2022 was the hardest election I've ever seen. There is no election I participated in that was harder than 2022. And so, Honorable Chair, that election, the way it was hard, there were many men, but I was the one who was on top.
Asante Jesse, asante.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, tukimalizia kwa sababu lazima tuende, PS ako hapa, wote wako hapa, our leaders wako hapa. We are going to do, hatujamaliza, we have a color fest. We are going to launch it there. PS Kimutai. Sawa sawa. So tutaenda hivi, tutaandamana na nyinyi. Tuingie tupande on stage. And then we launch the color fest. It's very beautiful. After that, then I'll be able to release you. Najua CS ameenda pale, but ajaenda. Hata ya anaenda on stage. She's aware. So you are going that way, tupande on stage, tumalize. And King Kaka is there, Wadaglis are there. So for now,
Africa.
For now is Kayamba Africa. Watuongoze kwa wimbo wa kumalizia, because we are not done with the program yet. So tutatoka sisi wote, twende pale kwa concert, launch Color Fest.
Kabla Kayamba, naomba Shaban Latif. Shaban Latif haja tuombe. Shaban Latif, are you here? Shaban Latif, closing prayer. Kabla Kayamba Africa. Kama yupo, rudi kwa Mutuse. Mutuse atuombe basi. And then we hand over to Kayamba Africa.
Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this far you have taken us. We prayed when we were starting, and Lord, we have seen the end of this event. We praise you, and at this moment we say, let honor and the glory remain to you. Thank you, Father, for
DJ,
what has been remained. Help us and be with us. And we thank you, Lord, because at the end of everything, we shall glorify your name. In Jesus' name we pray.
Twende kazi DJ.
Kayamba Africa ukiendelea na entertainment, there's the next session.
DJ tafadhali twende mlongo.
Okay. So tafadhali Kayamba Africa unaendelea na entertainment, you may head to the right first. Aya, uko to the left actually. It's to your right, but it's to my left. Okay? Kayamba Africa.
DJ. DJ, please.
Baby.
Really?
Of course.
In the heart of Chepsaita lies a story. A story of resilience, hope and dreams waiting to be fulfilled.
Twende side by side.
To the
Side by
left,
side.
left.
To the
right.
Side by side.
Right. Left.
Unazunguka.